Alright, here we go. We are live. We unfortunately are missing one person today due to life issues. Um so they won't be here and I'm not gonna force them to be here. But you have
Yeah.
me, we got Raptor, and it's good old Skull here. So and we're gonna be talking about shipping today. Yeah, a fun
Yeah.
activity that people of fandoms like to indulge in and also go to war over.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
And horny 12-year-olds who draw fetish crap over it.
Okay, Raptor, we don't need to point that stuff out.
We don't talk about the degenerates
Yeah,
on Deviant.
we don't. It's basically what it is. Just call it like you see it. All right, Skull, you wanted to talk
I
about
mean, do
some
I really have
things
any?
before we got into it, right?
Oh yes. Before we start sharing our ships, I want to know what your guys' opinion on shipping OCs or self-insert characters with canon characters is.
I mean, I'm kind of guilty of doing this back in the Steven Universe days when I would ship like my OCs with some of like the canon characters, but it was like kind of, not really. Well, I mean, I had one that was kind of fairly popular, I guess. I don't know. Hard to say, but I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's fine. I have no issue with it. I mean, it works. I think it's a little weird when you.
Oh,
Well, okay, I find it weird personally, just because again, the type of asexual I am, and just like my general attitude towards this kind of stuff. But I do
yeah.
find it a little weird when they do like the fan fiction where they self-insert themselves with the canon characters and want to do like certain things, and I'm like, good for you, sweetheart. Next one, please. Don't want that no more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine because like you got. I wouldn't say they're kids. Well, almost. Like, there's a lot of kids, okay, but
Well,
Mm.
I can't say anything. I was guilty of that when I was like 12.
See, okay, we're all guilty of it. You can't
Yeah,
say
we're
jack
all guilty
shit.
about it
What?
at some point in our lives. Yeah.
Ain't
Yeah.
ain't that the fucking truth?
Okay. So going down that line, stuff like characters in Stardew Valley, where you have an avatar that you've created. What do you guys think of that whole uh, deal?
Um, I personally don't mind it because again, it's still you in a sense. I mean, it's yourself with these characters. It's a simulation game. It's a bit different in that kind of regard because you're living out this kind of fantasy almost, and you're just kind of like putting it into like art or writing how like this is you with your favorite like basically husband or wife essentially.
Yeah, and also it's literally programmed in the
Yeah.
game for you to have an option to romance these characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the same thing I have towards like Dragon Age, for example. Because Dragon Age, you can obviously there's romance, and the character can look however you want. Like obviously, it's your main character. It's how it's you. It's however you want to look. How as you're going on this adventure. Actually, one of the ships I want to talk about is kind of regarding that too, Skull. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I honestly don't care because I actually think it's kind of fun seeing that kind of stuff, seeing the characters that people created and who they shipped it with, and like what they saw as their ideal romance while they were role playing in these role playing games. I honestly think it's a lot of fun. And yeah, you had
Hmm.
another one.
All right, now, yes, my second question. This one causes a lot of debate among shipping in certain fan bases.
All right.
What is your opinion on shipping real people?
Okay, that's a little weird. Okay,
I'm talking
so
actors.
uh, well, I can admit to being a little guilty of this to a small extent. Because again, like so, the problem with real people again is especially when it comes to content creators, it is still strange. Don't get me wrong, because again, these are real people. Um,
Yeah.
but there's also a performance that goes on. Who they are behind the screen, or at least what we see on the screen, isn't always who they are. They more often than not usually put
Yeah.
on a face or it's something you wouldn't really um probably would normally do if you actually knew them in real life and saw who they really were. But when it comes to the characters
Yeah.
of who they are, it's stretched quite a bit because I'm guilty of this myself because getting ready for this one or after. But when I started watching Hermitcraft, the characters that Grian and Mumbo projected themselves to be and how they interacted with each other, I kind of fell into that kind of category where they shipped like Grian and Mumbo in Minecraft, but I didn't ship them as like actual people. So I shipped the characters,
Yeah.
but not them. So like it's kind of like that
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that gray area, not just a silver line, but like that gray area where it's like if it's not the actual people, then it's a little different. But it's like the characters, it's also different too. Because like that's when you get into like not really fandom, but like I guess fandom, um,
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. Like
Well,
yeah,
completely valid, but I'm talking like the aggressive like pairing of two people. Say like, okay, Castiel and Dean are in a relationship when it comes to the end of Supernatural, but I mean like you look at the actors and you're like, yes, the characters they played are in a relationship, they need to be as well.
okay, that is a little
Uh,
different. It kind of
yeah,
reminds me of like
that's
people who
Yeah.
play The Sims, and I'm not knocking on this because again, it's what people do to kind of like live out fantasies, but where they'll take like real people and then put them together or put them with themselves, and I'm like, it's a little weird, but at the same time, like it's kind of how we kind of are as people. We're kind of drawn to these people, and we want to like in some way live out a fantasy that we'll never actually get to have. So, but when it comes to like the aggressive side of it, it's very that's oh boy, it's quite troublesome.
Yeah.
It's not something I would want to partake in because again, these are real people, and it's I understand that like you can like joke around, it's like, oh, I ship these two people together because of this. And I'm like, it just seems really weird when you actually apply it to real life, but oddly enough, it's okay
Oh
when you
yeah.
apply it to like fiction. I don't know why it works
Yeah.
that way, but it just does.
Which is really funny because you know, doing volunteer work and stuff around kids, I've had a lot of like kids from like the ages of 8 to about 14 where they're like, "Oh, I ship my friends," and it's just like, "Why?"
That
Like you
is
try to explain what shipping is to them and it's just like, "Kid, no." And
uh
it's
I don't know
strange
why, but
because
I'm
like
reminded of like the one moment in like one of the early SpongeBob episodes where SpongeBob's like, "Ship," and Patrick's just like, "SpongeBob, how long are you gonna live in this fantasy world of yours?" I didn't know what that meant as a kid, but now I do, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" That's what that reminds me of. Like, I mean, shipping is still it's a fun activity where you get to like pair two characters together, and like it is, in my opinion, at least, like a healthy enough way of exploring certain things.
yeah.
I mean, come on, we all pretty much did it quite a bit when we were younger. Let's be fair. Probably still do
yeah.
it quite a lot too, don't we, Skull?
What? I
Uh
have no
huh.
idea what
The
you're
judging
talking about.
starts now.
Mm-hmm.
What? Shipping several characters? Never.
Uh huh.
Nah,
Sure.
you're completely
Never.
guilty of that.
Yep. Guilty. 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 All right. Did you have any other questions before we get into the real meat of this here?
Nope.
All right. So I have sent to you two, well, not just in YouTube, but obviously in the Discord, lovely, lovely Discord that we have, the screenshots of you have to find them in alphabetical order. I can't be bothered, but like I told you, we will be starting with one of mine because again, alphabetical order because I can't be bothered. And this one is Adrian and Luca from Miraculous Ladybug. I don't know most of these ship names. Judge me for that. I can't give a fucking damn. But
I can't judge you. Friggin' they. I have no interest in getting into Miraculous. I tried and it wasn't my cup of tea, but them.
I mean, that's perfectly fine. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Miraculous isn't for everyone. Like, I actually had to leave Miraculous for a little bit before coming back to season 4. I actually do enjoy season 4 quite a bit. It actually it surprised me. But as I kind of stated last week's episode, where with with Adrian, Kagami, Luca, and Marinette, like I I really do believe that even though like obviously Luca is the opposite to Adrian and Kagami is the opposite to Marinette, also just made it better pairing too. To like for like just the gay. Like I honestly believe that Luca and Adrian would be a lot better pairing than what is it? Than Adrian with Marinette or obviously like Cat Noir with Ladybug. I still ship Lady Noir, I will say that, but I'm a little more of a sucker for Adrian and Luca just because I feel like they would make each other better people in a sense. Because you have Adrian who's very not really I'd say well he's somewhat unsure. He's very sheltered. He's never really got out of his comfort zone. He's never really been that rebellious type. Obviously in like season 4 finale he gets some rebellion, but it's because of a villain. But then you have Luca who is that free spirit. I wouldn't say rebellion, but like you kind of you know what I mean, right? Like he's got that free edge to him.
Mm-hmm.
It just it works, and plus they're so cute. You can't tell me they're not cute together. Looking at you, Sam.
Definitely have nothing to say on that.
Sure.
I mean, the blue-haired one, whatever their name is kind of cute.
That's Luca. That's Luca, sweetheart.
That's Luca.
That's Luca.
That's Luca.
That one's Luca.
Okay.
But no, yeah, that's my opinions on that. Like, it's very sweet and short and to the point. Cause like, I just think that one, they look cute together. Two, they'd be like perfect for each other. And three, it's something I'm never gonna see anyway. Cause you don't really see too much gay mainstream. And Miraculous has given us some gay characters, but it's not gonna make its leads gay. Let's be fair. Never. The next one I believe should be one of yours, Skull. What is this? BF Pico?
Oh, them! Yes!
Yep. Have fun.
Yes. So with this one, when the image pops up for them,
It's already
because,
popped up.
I don't see it yet.
Yeah, you'll be fine. It's the lag, don't worry.
Alright, well, so these two, there's a lot of debate in the FNF fandom about whether or not these two were or weren't an actual couple at one point. But, it was stated by both the creator of the character Pico and the creator of the game that they're both featured in later on that, they were in a relationship at one point. And, just there's not much to say here. It's gay. They're cute together.
What fandom? What franchise is this from?
Friday Night Funkin' series, which is like a rhythm game essentially.
Okay,
Oh boy.
what the fuck is this from? Because like,
Oh.
Yes.
I'm sitting here like they do look cute. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know where the fuck they're from.
So, fun fact for you two. With this game, when Pico was first introduced, he was actually sent to kill boyfriend, or as the fandom likes to call him, Keith.
Okay.
Yes.
But it just sounds like par for the course at this point.
To our understanding, though, it was like he fell the person he was supposed to kill, and it's like, you know what? Instead of killing you, I'm going to challenge you to a rap battle because we were friends at one point. Maybe more.
And I'm gonna judge you further and say this reminds me a lot of
what?
When I drew, was it Phoenix? And I told you this was gonna be your rival for the next game, the next D&D game, and you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna fuck him instead. I'm like, damn it, man, that's not what he's for. That's what that reminds me of.
What? You said our goal was to take down our rivals by any means necessary. If it's that, then so be it.
But the sad thing is, I was expecting it too. It's like the moment I decided to make it a man, I'm just like, he's gonna fuck this man. I just know it.
What more could you expect from me after Sebastian?
Says the man who says he has freaking standards. What standards? I see none.
Yeah, there's like no standards with you, man.
None. And so we judge.
I have some standards.
Bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit.
I call bullshit. You're not okay. Look, Raptor, I can see having standards because he's made that clear. You fucking squeal like a damn schoolgirl over every single boy.
Every single one.
Majority of them. There are no fucking
Like-
standards
I
either.
still have
95
some
to 90.
standards where it's not every single one.
Uh-huh, sure, whatever. Alright, anything else you want to say on this?
No, not really.
Oh, alright. This is one for you and me, Skull.
Oh boy.
Boyfriends.
Yes.
Okay, Raptor, you haven't been introduced to this webcomic, have you? I'm gonna take that as a no. Anyway, moving on. So, for anyone who is unsure of what this is or doesn't read webtoons, essentially, this is a fucking amazing comic. It is a nice little slice of life about 4 boys in a polyamorous relationship, and it's the best thing ever. It's so cute. Oh my gosh, I love all the boys. I don't care too much for like the preppy one. Like he obviously like he has his moments, but
He has his moment.
he does. I don't know. I just don't like little bitches, and that's what he reminds me of. Is a little bitch. I don't like little bitches. But the jock is so sweet. Like he's kind of like the heart of gold, basically. He's a big sweetheart. He is the fucking sweetheart amongst them. Like he's like the gentle giant. Yeah, that's it. The goth one is my favorite one. I'm not gonna lie. I fucking love the goth one.
Yes.
I'm like, dude, this is my spirit animal.
No comment.
No, Bassie. Hmm.
No,
Yeah.
hear me.
We
No
know
comment.
you like goth, okay? We know you do. Oh, and then the little nerd
Okay,
one
I
is so
like
cute.
the nerd too.
Oh, nerd, like
Nerd too.
I love how he likes to tease him of like tease him over like some of like small things like, "Oh, you're such a pervert." Oh my gosh. And then I remember when he made like the preppy one like get all like blushing and whatnot. I'm just like, "Oh, these things are too cute."
Yes.
They're too pure, they're too innocent, but they're also fucking amazing. I'm also so glad we
Yes.
have one of these type of comics where it's not a
Oh,
love triangle or square, but it's literally just like a polyamorous relationship in its like full glory, and I love it. And I love how they have like the jock's sister, how she's in a polyamorous relationship with a bunch of girls. Like, I think girlfriends, basically. I don't know if that
Yes.
is that. Do they actually have a comic for that? I
I
thought.
really hope they get a spin-off.
I hope so too. I thought they did, but it might just be boyfriends for right now. But I think it's really cute how like they're not the only ones with these polyamorous relationships, but
Oh yeah.
at least we actually get to see their relationships like grow. I do hope we get to see the girls too, because I do like them. I'm actually a little bit of a sucker for the goth one on the girl side. I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh boy. If you grew
mean,
up in like what was it, the 2000s, and you don't like goth girls, there's something wrong with you. Probably the 2010s too. And you got Marceline. Marceline's kind of goth.
Everyone experience. I think everyone's got like experience at least in some degree to like goth girls or guys.
Definitely goth girls for me. I will say that right now, goth girls. But no, yeah.
Okay, I think I'm good.
I think you're... Well, yeah, you haven't read it yet.
Well, I mean, you guys know my very specific soft spots.
Oh yeah, everything.
Yeah. Yep.
I judge now. I've been judging this entire time. But anyway, did you
yeah.
have anything else you wanted to say on boyfriends? I've said everything I want to.
I cry.
You cry?
Because I cry.
Oh, I know. I heard you. What was it? Were you squealing during the life drawing class? Were we in chat for that one? I want to say we were.
I don't think so.
I remember there was one day where the comic updated, and you're like, "Oh, Lotus, it updated," and I'm like, "Oh, that's nice." And all of a sudden, I hear you like dying over there. I'm like, "What the fuck happened?" And you're just like, "Cuteness."
It might have been that one.
It has to be that one. Because the moment I saw it, like just how they were drawing Jock in like these really realistic, not really realistic, but like anime realistic kind of proportions and everything, all I thought was Skull would go nuts for these man titties. And you probably did too, knowing you. Wait, isn't that the one that also had the the goth plushie too at the end?
Yes.
That's what I
Yes.
thought.
The first thing I look for in a man is his heart. It's not my fault his titties are in front.
Oh my gosh. I have no words for that one.
What?
Just no words, just judgment.
Save your judgment for when I start going on my tangents about the gay Legos.
2? Oh my gosh! I'm gonna judge you so hard! There's gonna be so much judgment. And then shame because they actually do look good. Anyway, I hope I actually included that. I think I might have forgot that screenshot. Whoopsie!
What?
Nope, I didn't
Oh
say
my
it.
god, I
Moving
should have
on!
taken the screenshot for the beach episode.
Okay. Skull, the next one is Dark Link and Link. Have fun!
Oh boy! So, I have no justification for this other than the fact that I'm a huge sucker for, like, hero
Degenerate.
x villain or, like, rival ships.
Call it for what it is, degenerate.
What?
Hey, you said it yourself that you know you're
Yes,
a
I'm aware
degenerate.
that I'm a degenerate. Leave me alone.
Oh, that's good stuff right there. I actually need to check.
So, yeah, this is actually one of my first, ships that I had.
You know, that does make
When
sense.
I was just a wee little skull getting introduced to the Zelda series. And the Water Temple specifically from Ocarina of Time because Dark Link was introduced there. And yeah. Since I was a small child, I've been like, yes, rival shipping.
You know, technically Dark Link was introduced in, like, the second installment to the game. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
Like,
I didn't know that it existed at that point.
yeah, no, I think the final boss is
You
literally,
Ocarina
like,
of
you're
Time.
fighting your shadow. Which is, like, that was, like, the first incarnation of Dark Link, and I think he came back in Ocarina of Time, basically. But no, yeah, the
Yeah.
first Dark Link was actually in the second installment, I do believe. Like, the one that was, like, a not really side scroller, but it kind of, like, had that look to it, where you had to
That
go,
might
like,
have been Four Swords.
it wasn't Four Swords. It was definitely, like, it was, like, an old Zelda title, a very old one. I don't even, I want to say it was just, was it Link? Was it just Zelda? I'd have to look it up to be sure, but I remember it was kind of like one of those where, like, you had the room you're
Oh.
in, and the moment you stepped off the edge of the screen, you'd go into the next room, kind of like game, like those really old ones.
Oh, that's like the first, so either the Legend of Zelda, The Legend of Zelda to the Adventure of Link, or...
That's it, The Adventure of Link. That's the one.
Or,
It has to be, right? I believe so. Something like that.
there's also A Link to the Past, which was in a very
think it was
similar
a Link.
style.
I don't think it was A Link to the Past. I think it was The Adventures of Link. Hold up, keep talking.
Let's
while
Google it!
I was gonna
Which
say, you keep talking.
game?
I'm gonna Google it, okay? I'm right here on my laptop, so like you keep talking about your degenerate ship, and then I will look it up for you.
Ouch. So, continuing on this, and just like the whole like shipping of Link with Dark Link, it gets even further when I started playing Four Swords. Specifically, the purple Link, because you know it's like, oh, they all have different personalities according to the fandom and the artist from Nintendo and literally like every other source. But you have Dark Link, and then like the purple one who's supposed to be like super smart and just oh boy.
So I can say I've never played any Zelda game aside from oh, what is it? I've played Breath of the Wild, kind of. Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. I think I might have done Phantom Hourglass. So when you talk about these ones like this, like I've literally no idea. I don't think I've ever really played any that had a Dark Link in it.
Sorry if I'm
Oh yeah,
interrupting.
I've played
Can you
like
guys hear
every.
me?
You're fine, Raptor.
Okay.
What was that, Skull?
I've played like every.
Experiencing
I've
technical
played pretty much
difficulties.
every Zelda game.
I've
Not
had
to
my own technical
completion,
difficulties.
obviously, but the main series game I've played.
Okay.
At least for a little bit.
Alright.
Yes.
But this started back in what, Ocarina of Time, you said?
Yeah. Ocarina of Time, I watched the first Zelda game I ever played was The Wind Waker, which was the Zelda for the GameCube, essentially, before Four Swords Adventures.
Okay.
Yeah, because with Four Swords, there was the original, which is whichever one it was.
Wasn't
Maybe
the
the
original
GBA,
Four
the Game
Swords was
Color?
before they actually made the different colored links? Like, it was just all, like, Link himself, essentially, but you had, like, 4 of them? And then, like, wasn't the next title after that where they had the
I
different
don't know.
personalities?
Well, I honestly can't remember. You know, I was like very young. I'll have to look into that and tell you at a different time.
Okay.
Probably later.
Wait, so wait,
Yeah.
there was Dark Link in Four Swords?
Yeah. Well, Four Swords Adventure, which was like the one for the GameCube.
Oh. See, I'm learning things I never knew here, because I knew he showed up, like, Dark Link showed up in Ocarina of Time, because there was, like, what, the Water Temple? It was, like, a mini-boss, or a mid-boss,
Yeah.
something like that. And I
Are we talking
remember...
about Nintendo's best femboy?
Moving on.
But yeah, he was in.
Judging! Oh my gosh, what the fuck was that? Raptor.
Oh yeah,
Were you
listeners,
the one
feel
who
free
told him
to
that?
share your opinion on the ships in the chat.
Were you the one who taught him that? That Link was
What?
the femboy?
I mean, have you seen Link in the glitter outfit?
I think he looks like a guy in a girl's outfit. Yes, he does pass for a good girl, but I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call him a femboy. Personally, at least for me.
I mean, I would.
I mean, Nintendo.
I remember as like
Nintendo did say in an interview at one point, I'm pretty sure that like their entire intention for Link in Breath of the Wild was to be like a very androgynous looking character.
I feel like that's him for a lot of it, because he looks the same to a lot of the time for me, but that's just because I don't play Legend of Zelda that often, and Link looks the same to me no matter what iteration it is. I'm saying that now.
I can
I mean,
argue that very easily with the several different incarnations, but we'll get into that in a different episode.
You could! I have no doubt about that. But, regarding the ship,
I mean,
is there anything else you'd want to say on it?
No, I'm out of things to say. I have been for a little bit now. On to the next one.
It's one of the Homestuck ones. Is it what, Dave Cat?
Yes.
Oh, yep, there we go.
So, Homestuck.
I know nothing about this, so go on.
Homestuck is one of the best, worst fandoms in existence, because...
Can't you say that about every single fandom, though? Because you literally just summed up every single one.
No, but Homestuck.
Yeah.
Homestuck is really like the... It's just... There's a lot to unpack with Homestuck.
Okay.
And
so
a lot of it's the shipping community.
Okay, so then what's the deal with this ship right here?
Yes. And I will say this now, I haven't actually finished reading Homestuck, but these two, they have a lot of moments that are like... There's a lot of timeline fuckery that I'm not going to explain, but eventually these two end up meeting up, and it's just like, they have some moments where it's like, man, they hate each other, but like, at the same time, they also have moments where they're just like, hey. To my understanding with these two, they're both kind of like, considered freaks in their own regard. Dave having these very striking red eyes, while Karkat has a blood color with his alien race that if anyone found out, he would be killed where he stands. So they're both kind of like different in that regard, and they bond over it, from what I understand. I know in the Homestuck sequel, as everyone's calling it, that they do technically end up becoming a thing, but a lot of people like to argue on whether or not Homestuck 2 is actually canon or not.
I'll say with anything.
But yeah, these two, like, back and forth, like, just, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, yes, you're fighting, now shut up and kiss.
Oh dear lord.
Because they have moments where it's like, there's more there. There is some kind of tension. I will leave it at that before Lotus starts to judge me more than they probably already are.
What do you mean? I've already started. Why stop? Just wait till we get to the other shit. Then I really will judge you.
I don't want to start getting into the complexities of shipping and Homestuck because there's like 4 different. Oh god,
Please,
the
please
quadrant.
don't, because like
Yeah,
I don't
oh.
understand half this shit. I'm saying it now, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay, but is there any?
I will
Hello,
leave it at
Raptor.
like. I will leave the explanation at like there's Red Rom and Black Rom, and Black Rom is like okay, there's relationship there, but they hate each other. But it's like romantic hate question mark, and then there's Red Rom, which is like the typical romance.
You know that love hate really makes me think of Dragon Age 2 when you can have a rivalry romance with people. That's what that makes me think of.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on.
Moving on. All right. Endhawk. I don't fucking know.
I'm really getting relentlessly hammered with these back-to-backs. Endeavor and Hawks.
Hey, it's your own fault for some of these names, alright?
Okay, so yeah, I don't have much to say here beyond Bird Twink and Fire Daddy are cute together.
I judge you. I'm judging so hard right now. I judge.
I mean, it goes further than that because like
no shit.
they have a very specific dynamic, just back and forth that I really enjoy, and it's like, oh my god, yes, this. And then there's the way that a lot of the people in the fandom betray them, which I will not get into.
Yes, please don't.
But yeah,
stick
they're
to why you
cute.
like them.
They're cute.
They're cute.
Also, men hot.
Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry, I had to do a quick reset on the slideshow. Pardon me. All right, is that all for the Bird and Fire Boy?
Yes.
Okay. Here's another one. What was it? Eraser Mick? Mike?
Eraser Mick. Okay. Before switch, fun fact: another ship name for these two is Hot Wings.
Hot Wings. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Raptor. I'm with Raptor on this one. All right, but Eraser, Mike?
Yes. Oh boy.
What fandom are these ones from, anyway?
Both of these two are My Hero Academia ships.
I thought they were My Hero. They kind of looked like it, but I'm just like, I don't fucking know.
So, Hizawa and Aizawa. Where do I begin with these two? I mean, they met in high school and became friends and have been friends ever since, really.
Oh yeah, they definitely look like it.
Yes, and I get deeper connection from the two of them when they're shown on screen together. Because Aizawa is like this very tired man who doesn't tolerate people, and Hizashi is this very loud and annoying ball of sunshine.
Gosh, the other one sounds like my fucking spirit animal right there. Can't fucking deal with people.
Aizawa is literally just like, okay, well, you guys have your assignment. I'm gonna go take a nap behind my desk.
Yeah, don't bother me. Anyway, continue.
But they're polar opposites, and they're cute.
You don't say they're polar opposites.
Yes.
Like, in the image I found, like, you can tell that in just, like, a heartbeat. You're like, okay, yep, I see it. What do they say? Opposites attract, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh. Anything else? And any other thoughts you want to add? Any judgments from anyone? I don't fucking know this fandom, so I can't really say anything.
No, I have nothing more to add, and I don't think Raptor's here to judge me on this.
I don't think Raptor's in a position to judge, so anyway, moving on. This is another Homestuck one. What the fuck is this one? Hold up here. I can't fucking remember some of these. Aerosol?
Oh, Aerosol. This is another one of those things where the characters really hate each other.
Oh my
and
god.
Are, like, kind of...
What is with you with, like, enemies to lovers?
Right, why is
I don't know. But, these two, their entire reason for hating each other kind of sparks from they like the same girl.
Oh dear lord.
But,
that's even worse!
they're like the same girl, but like they, at least in my opinion, don't really have any chance with the character.
Mm,
Either way, she finds one of them to be way too clingy, Eridan, and the other one to be. I honestly don't know. I haven't gotten this far yet, but yeah, she
uh-huh.
dies, and
Oh.
yeah.
I don't know why, but that bomb is just like, oh yeah, she hates him, and then she dies. It's like, well, that escalated quickly.
Well, I mean, it's Alternian romance is very strange,
I can tell.
and yeah, just hate ship.
You have a lot of those. So it
How could you
seems.
tell?
I don't know. It seems like everything you seem to spit out has enemies and lovers all over it. One form or another. Is that all for that one?
So just
For the most
yeah.
part, your enemies, another enemies to lovers. Chalk this one
I-
up on the list.
I'm gonna be honest with you here. Younger me's entire reason for starting to ship them was like, haha, complimentary colors.
I judge you. I fucking judge you. That's it? That's as bad as shipping Jack Frost and Elsa just because they have ice powers.
It's fine. I judge me too.
Okay, good. As long as you understand that. Alright.
No, this is part of the reason why I'm so excited is because everyone ships everything and everyone
That's like almost any
with some
fandom,
really
though.
ridiculous.
It's
Wait,
literally
hold on. I
any
want to see if
fandom.
I can find the entire Homestuck shipping list to send it to you at some point. I won't share it right now, but like later.
Alright, fair
That's,
enough.
I think we might.
Raptor, in regards to your voice chat connectivity, I'm sorry to say that. It sucks ass. If you need to bounce, let me know. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. If you can't figure things out, just let me know. All right. Okay, so
Please tell me it's not another one of mine.
no, it's actually one of mine. Okay,
Thank God.
so you're lucky this time.
I've been talking for almost 40 minutes.
That's all. Ooh, that's all, man. You really need to step up your game, man. I can talk for a good 2 hours. Just give me a subject and I go. But
Yeah.
this one is Fang and Vanille from Final Fantasy 13. So this was kind of interesting because so like all throughout the games, these two clearly do have a connection. They like you can't tell. It's obviously that they're really good friends, but you can't really tell if they're like sister friends or like there's something more friends. Because they will go to the ends of the earth for fucking each other, and it's great. It fucking is great, and I love it. It's really sweet because like you see them like try and get back with each other because they're separated in the first game. And it's really cute when they see each other. Like, Fang is off with Snow, say like helping out Lightning and Hope, and you see like Vanille sees it, and she's like Fang, and I'm like, oh, it's cute. It's kind of like little moments like that where I'm just like, I don't know, there could be something there, but then okay, and spoilers here if you haven't played Final Fantasy 13, I'm sorry, but here's spoilers for how it ends. And like the final act of the game, essentially, whenever you kill, I don't know what they're called, Lassie, something like that. I don't know. Once you get rid of like the one that's like holding up Cocoon, I believe. I haven't really played that far. Hi, Dandy. Um, then everyone starts turning to Crystal. Snow, Hope, Saz, and Lightning are turning to Crystal. But in the meantime, Fang and Vanille are like holding onto each other's hands, and then they turn into Ragnarok together. And together they end up saving Cocoon, creating
Am I
a
back?
crystal. Yes, you are. Creating a crystal pillar. And inside, they are literally like kind of like curling around each other, holding each other's hands while they're stuck in the crystal. Um,
Hello?
Hello, we hear you. We hear you. I don't know if you can hear us, Raptor.
I can now.
Okay, good. And like
Oh.
in
Cool.
13 too, you don't really see Fang and Vanille all too much because they're still sleeping away in the crystal pillar. But then in like 13.3 and Lightning Returns, you have like they're separated again. But Fang is looking for this artifact that Vanille is also kind of looking for. But she's doing it to destroy the relic so she can save Vanille. Like everything she's doing is to save Vanille, like for Vanille's sake. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. I'll be saying, landscaping on the realm. I'll catch up. All right, sounds good, Dandy. But I'm like, it's really cute, and I had such a hard time. I still have a hard time kind of like decide if what they're like going through is actually like that one's towards you, Scola, John, and Vriska.
I don't like Vriska. Fuck her.
Okay,
I
good
hate
to know.
her.
But no, like Fangin' Vanille's a
Mm.
really cute ship, but I think I don't know. I think it's cute. I feel like there's something more there, and like I just like seeing it. They had a good dynamic, even if it's not romantic. They do make a really good like sisterly, platonic kind of ship, and those do exist. Doesn't all have to be about romance here now, or love, or sex, or you know what I mean.
Yeah, they do.
That's all I gotta say, and I know you guys haven't really played 13, so moving on. Oh, here's another one for me. So, Skull, when you mentioned earlier about like people like creating characters like in RPG games and then drawing art of that character with like one of the characters in the game that they liked. Danny says that he loves John's innocence and his feelings for her toxic ass. Take that what you will. But this one is Fenris and Hawk from Dragon Age 2, but more specifically, it's the male Hawk version. The more basic Garrett, I guess you could say Garrett Hawk. And I don't. Okay, look, I'm a fucking sucker for Fenris. I don't know if you'll relate to this, Skull, but like,
Hello.
hello, Raptor, can you hear us?
Mm.
That's a maybe no. All right, but so Skull, tell me if this sounds like your type of man who has a dark past. Can't really remember that dark past, but he knows just bad things happened in his past. He lived through some of it to remember, to know, like, why he should hate these people. Gets a taste of freedom. Is told by his slave master, and I kid you not, he's definitely a slave master, that he needs to kill people who basically help set him free when he didn't realize he wanted freedom. And then he runs away because he's like, I can't live this life no more. And then he's like a brooding person the entire time.
I played the 5th.
Exactly, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. You fucking, you have standards, right? Where's the
I
standards
need
at?
another cup of tea.
This is great. I love this. But I don't know if he's actually listening. Skull, are you still listening?
What? Yeah,
Okay,
I'm still
good.
here.
Okay, so the reason why I like it is because one, Garrett or Miriam or whatever you name your hawk. Danny's still talking to you, Skull. The reason why I like it is because Fenris is like, he hates magic, and technically, like, the canonical version of Hawk, I say canonical in quotes because clearly you can choose how you want Hawk to be, is supposed to be a mage. So essentially, Fenris, right out the gate, hates you. But it doesn't necessarily mean you hate him. And I love how you can take your relationship either way. Like, again, it's the rivalry romance or the friendship romance, but like, rivalry for a little more spice, and for him hating you. Oh, I wouldn't say hate you. Like, it's a love-hate relationship. Or for friendship, if you want like your devoted little like Fenris, and it's so cute.
A
Uh,
love-hate relationship, you say?
yes, I do. That's like okay. So that's like the whole thing of Dragon Age 2 is you can actually have like these friendship romances, which they're really sweet and cute. It's like that very kind of like warm you in like your tummy kind of thing. They're really sweet to see. See you later, Dandy. And the more you can also go down the path where like it's a love-hate relationship basically. I remember at the end, at the rivalry romance with Fenris, he basically calls you an annoying like thorn in his side, and then he kisses you. I'm like, I'm done. I had my fun here. Ooh, or okay, so in the game, it's technically considered like you completed the romance. I believe more in Dragon Age Origins when you sleep with them. And I love the scene with Fenris. Like, if you play it just right, where you've done his questioning beliefs before the bitter pill, it's actually really cool because after a bitter pill, he comes to you, and if you've already romanced him to the point where you can sleep with Fenris, um, after the bitter pill quest, he'll be like, "This isn't why I came here," and you try to like be like, "Hey, stay," and then he pushes you against the wall, and you see his tattoos light up because he's covered in lyrium markings that allow him to like literally reach inside a person and crush their heart. So it makes him dangerous too, which is even better. But like you see him like he's angry that you try to stop him, and then he starts backing off, and then you flip the script as you take Fenris and you push him up against the wall and start making out with him. I'm like, let's go! It's fucking great, and I like it better
Yeah.
with the male hawk personally, just because like, I don't know, there's just something about it. Like female hawk's nice, but there's just something about Garrett that I just love so. Is it Garrett? I don't know how to say it, but I like the male hawk just so
Then,
much better. It's so much cuter too, in my opinion. I guess
no,
also because I like the voice actor they have for the male hawk better than the female hawk, so like I like the male hawk a lot better, personally. But that's just me. I've got nothing else to say on this, so I'm moving on. This is another one for me. Lore Olympus. How could you not? Okay, Skull, how have you not read this? Have you read this yet?
I started, but
Oh my
I
gosh.
didn't really.
Hades and
I read-
Persephone.
I read the first few and just couldn't really
Oh
get
my
into
gosh.
it.
What? But it's Greek mythology. It's Hades and
No,
Persephone. How
I don't
could you
know,
not?
It was the start of it was slow, and it just if something's slow, I have a really hard time getting into
Come
it.
on,
Which is
okay,
why
give
I
it another
struggled to
try,
finish
because
some stuff.
holy shit, it's really good. You would love it now. You absolutely would. Because, like, I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't read it, because I do wholeheartedly recommend this web series. Because holy shit, it takes Greek mythology. Like, you still have, like, the, like, our, it's not really our world, but, like, what would be essentially our world is still, like, in ancient times, in ancient Greece. And then you have the gods worlds, which is like our modern technology and everything. And I'm like, this is cool. I like this. And then you have Hades and Persephone, and it's like the entire comic is obviously about them, but then you still have the other gods too, and it's so great. But like Hades and Persephone are just oh my gosh, it's so cute. Again, like going in like with the whole mythology, how when Hades saw like the moment he saw Persephone, he fell in love, and that sticks. Like it was so good seeing just that, and then her falling in love with him too. Like the moment that she saw him, it was it was too good. And I just love their dynamic. Like Hades is this big old sweetheart who just he wants that affection. He wants to be loved. And he has someone in his life who will give him that love essentially. Someone who is nothing but kind and sweet and generous to him, and he's the same back in return. So it's very easy to see that even though they haven't known each other for a long time, that they just fall in love so easily. And it's honestly kind of a little envious. Like even though I am Arrow, I'm still a romance positive Arrow, so there are times where I wish I could experience that to that degree. It's like fall so helplessly in love, but also do it with the full trust of the partner too. There's just something about Hades and Persephone that is just it's so heartwarming. And even in like the more recent comics, when they go in search of each other, it really bothers me how the creator of the comic is kind of dragging it out a little bit, because I'm just like, let her find her man. I want to see her save him. Yeah, you get no other spoilers in that, but they're so fucking perfect. I love them. Like there's other ships in there too, but like Hades and Persephone, I love with all my heart. They're just so fucking cute. And Skull, I judge you for not having read more of this.
Uh,
I think this is one of Raptor ships.
let's
Which one?
see.
Hold up here. Which one is this? This is definitely one of Raptor ships. It is Hinamani? Hinamani?
In a money.
Yeah, this is definitely one of yours, Raptor. This is one of those I just added in.
Oh, Hajime and Chiaki.
You need to learn these ship names.
Hinami.
Let's hear it, Raptor. This is all you. You got center stage, boy.
Complicated to combine together.
Oh my dear lord. Alright, well you have center stage, boy. Let's go. Let's hear it. And Skull, I expect to hear some judgments.
Yaki is an overrated character. I'll say that now.
No, she ain't.
I don't like Yaki.
She's a gamer. She's adorable.
I love this already.
Yes, her only personality trait. Gamer.
Gamer girl, thank you very much. Oh my god.
Big gamer girl.
Oh.
She's an AI.
Oh my god.
I love this. Keep going.
Okay,
So-
she's an AI in Danganronpa too. She was real in that universe at one point.
So then why do you like this pairing, Raptor? Tell us so Skull can judge you.
Well, they both look adorable together. Like, they have some like encounters, both in game and in anime that they have a good time together, and they have a blush when they sometimes, and
You know, at least give you that, dude. They do look cute together.
I mean, I can't say anything about the Danganronpa series. Once you build a deep enough relationship with every character in this series, it's just like, well, we're friends now. Here's a token of my affection, which is their underwear. It's just, except for Gundam, he
Oh.
doesn't count.
That's
oh my god.
Except for Gundam.
Okay,
Gundam doesn't get underwear because he goes commando constantly.
I
judging
do
you
find
both
that,
so silently and so hard right now.
I do find that feature weird.
I am now thinking about all the Danganronpa ships that I forgot about.
Oh my gosh. Well, you can piggyback off Raptor for this because I'm not adding anything else in.
Yeah.
But do you have anything
So-
else for this one, Raptor?
No.
No. All right. Well, the next one's also yours too. I don't. Okay.
Uh,
So I'm terrible with these, but it's like Ishimondo.
Okay, so this is one that I actually ship too.
All right. Well, good. You both have
Oh.
center stage. Let's go. Let's
So,
hear it.
Ishimaru, or no, Mondo. Mondo is a punk.
I couldn't tell.
He's a biker,
Oh,
I couldn't tell.
Mondo and Taka.
and Taka, moral compass. They balance each other so well because you have the bad boy and then like the moral compass.
Is this another opposites attract? You know, I can't
I
really say
mean,
much
yeah,
because I'm
but-
here with Adrian and Luca and fucking Kagami and Marinette. So you know what? I can't say shit. All right, let's go. Keep saying.
With these two,
then again,
actually,
they have, like,
there's an office artist who drew them together a lot before I got into DR, and that's when I was like, they're cute.
And what do you say, Raptor?
I mean, honestly, I ship them as like best friends. They do have like a bro moment. I mean, yeah, they do butt heads in the game, but eventually they make up. They're bros and just
So you like them more for their bromance, essentially.
yeah. And when death did them part, that's all I'll say.
Well,
It was kind of
Taka
sad.
was devastated,
Yeah,
but
I-
also haha,
I
Mondo
shed a few tears when I saw that.
Anything
Got
else
it.
regarding this
It
one?
was just the entire like execution of Mondo as a character was tragic, but at the same time it was also made kind of funny because haha Mondo butter.
Yeah, I still can't believe they did that.
I can't say anything. There were more tragic deaths in the Danganronpa series for me.
Yeah. I also like how Taka powered up when he finally felt he had closure with Mondo thanks to AI Chihiro.
He basically just goes Super Saiyan.
Yeah, I absolutely loved that. I loved it and hated it at the same time. Because Super Saiyan transformation, it was so much like that shit. And, at the same time, I just like how, like, how do I explain it? I just like how
You're cutting in and out, Raptor. Your connectivity's going to shit again. All right. Do we wait for him to fix his connectivity or do we move on?
I'd say let's move on and probably tell him maybe close tabs and like other things that he has open so that way his computer is just like one focused thing.
Okay.
Because I know having multiple things open definitely screws with my internet connection too.
Okay. So while we wait for him to fix his shit, the next one would have been Kaito and Maki from
Oh, Kaito and Maki.
Thank you. Would you have had an opinion on that, or can I move on to the next one?
I do actually have an opinion on this. Kaito and Maki, I don't personally see them as like a romantic ship, more so as like they're really good friends. Mainly because like throughout the third Danganronpa game, which is the one they're featured in, Kaito spends a lot of the time he's alive for in the game trying to get closer to Maki and like break down her walls to sort of like build a friendship and, you know, gain her trust or whatever, right?
Okay.
And he does end up doing that through the form of, you know, she's an assassin and he's an astronaut, so it's like, okay, well, we both need to keep in shape for like our own reasons. Let's work out together.
Are you
So
back, Raptor?
for me, I see more of a friendship than anything else for these two.
Are you back, Raptor? I hear you in the background.
That and also because I kind of ship him with another purple-haired brat.
Am I not surprised? Raptor, are you back? I'm gonna take a silence as a no. Alright, is that all you have to say on the ship?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, be ready, because the next two are also yours, but we're gonna start with... Fucking hell, it's another hero.
Is it one of the Ninjago ones?
No, you're doing Poly Ninja for that. I am not fucking doing all that. It's Kiribaku.
Oh, okay, so Kirishima and Bakugo.
I can hear you, Raptor. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes.
Okay. Well, we're moving on.
Sorry, the technical difficulties are beyond a
It's alright.
Raptor, I'm going to suggest you close a bunch of the things you have open and just leave your Discord open.
I have nothing else open besides Discord and Twitch on my phone.
Well, I think it just might be your connectivity.
That's not the
That's probably literally
Alright,
just
well, alright, so Kirishima and Bakugo. With this one, I do actually have a lot to say.
Alright, let's hear
With
it.
Bakugo's character and him being, you know, this like very angry, like he doesn't want to be seen as more like he's angry. He sees himself as better than everyone, and he can't handle being seen as less than anyone else.
So superiority complex.
Yeah. And the reason why I really appreciate these two as a pairing is because, like, not only do their powers just like work really well together for a combat standpoint, to where they were able to start building a friendship, but Kirishima is just very much like the kind of person who, like, he built a good like friendship with Bakugo. They have a lot of mutual respect. And with Bakugo, I don't really see him paired up with a lot of other people just because it's like just because the way he is as a person. But like with Kirishima and I guess like by this extension another character in the show, Ochako, which I'm not going to mention here in too great of detail, but they're like the only two characters I can actually see Bakugo having a healthy romantic relationship with. And it's all based off of they have mutual respect for each other on different levels.
You know what? I respect that explanation.
I can see.
It's the one thing I won't judge you on.
What?
Just the one thing I won't judge you on. I'll judge you on everything else, but that's actually a really good reason.
Yeah.
We also need
Okay,
to see
so
just more healthy
I
stuff
wish
in
I heard
general.
them even.
yes. I mean, obviously he tries to be an ass and whatnot, but Kirishima's like, "That's not you, bro," and like,
Have a
just
Snickers. You're not yourself when you're hungry.
yeah, basically. Also, there was like a moment in the first My Hero Academia movie where it's like, he got Bakugo this really nice suit. You know, there's like the whole like flower language. Just yeah, that whole thing. I'm just like, okay, yeah, there's definitely something there. You can't say otherwise.
Okay.
And Horikoshi has already like portrayed LGBT characters in My Hero Academia, so I wouldn't have any doubt if these two did end up actually becoming a couple at some point.
That would be nice.
Yes.
Get some more representation out there, right?
Yes.
And I respect that. And you won't have any judgments from me on this. This time. That's probably
I
gonna
do
change
have
here soon.
some good ships. I do have some good ships, okay?
Yeah, some.
No.
The bad
Uh-oh.
ones greatly outweigh it. Don't even get me started when we get to Sid Link. I'm gonna really have fun with that.
Hey, you can't say anything.
Oh, I can and I will. Alright, is that all you had to say for these two? Or you got more?
Yes. No, this is it.
Clance.
Oh boy. So, more rival shipping.
Oh, fucking
Oh
hell!
God. Why?
See,
Judging!
I mean, I haven't watched all of Voltron, but like they do butt heads quite a bit. But when they get along really well. Just I don't know even how to begin to explain this one other than just they're cute.
Enemies to lovers and cute.
Well, they're not even really enemies so much as like.
Yeah, but the whole thing with the enemies to lovers is just the fact that they don't get along in the beginning.
Well,
They're kind of like
they're
enemies in
not-
quotes.
I mean, they're not even like. Keith doesn't even really see Lance as a rival or anything. It's Lance who's like,
Well, that's
man,
why it's
this guy's
different.
trying to
There's
act like he's better than me all the time.
again enemies to lovers. You don't necessarily have to hate each other, but like that's the whole thing with enemies to lovers. You just don't get off on the right foot, and you don't until like the end. And it's basically the whole thing because it's rivals
Yeah,
to lovers.
these
That's a
two.
whole different thing. So yeah, enemies to lovers. Add that to the list. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say on this one.
That's it? Alright. I feel like the
Yeah.
next one's mine. Yeah, okay. So, I'm gonna just say this right now. Yes, I was a big oh, okay, who am I fucking kidding? I am still somewhat of a big Sonic fan. But my love for Sonic did not come from the video games. I actually didn't really care for the video games at all. I'm saying it now. But, I did love the comics. I loved the Sonic the Hedgehog comic series that was published by Archie Publications. They gave us a lot of fun characters, fun stories, and all that good jazz. Like the good stuff, the really good stuff. And I really hate that they were fucking reset and then just. I know they're good. They're still good, but it's not the old ones. That's all I want. I wanted the old ones back. But one thing I did love that they did is they gave Knuckles a girlfriend. And actually, I really love this fucking bitch. She's fucking awesome. So Knuckles and Julisu are definitely one of my favorite pairings. It's really cute because obviously you have Knuckles. We all know how Knuckles is. He's headstrong. He's not
Yeah.
obviously the brightest tool in the shed, but he's still got some smarts to him. But like, again, he's very passionate. It's obviously very stubborn, and he can get
Yeah.
a little caught in his ways, a little caught in his path. And Julie Sue is very much like that. I don't really want to say tomboy, but she's very much a gosh, it's been so long since I've read the comics. I definitely say Julie Sue is very spunky. She's that go-getter kind of girl. Like she also is not afraid to say what's on her mind either. She's just that very go get 'em kind of person, and I like it. She's has no problem in taking part in the action. She's always right there by Knuckles' side, and for the most part, he's there by her side too. Like obviously, he has his moments where he does falter and trips and falls basically, but she's usually there to help him. She's kind of like almost like his rock. Almost, not quite, but she's definitely there, like help him when he needs it, and I do appreciate that. And it's definitely something that he needed for a healthy relationship, and their relationship is definitely amongst the most healthiest. And I love seeing it too, especially in the comic where like Bunny and Antoine get married. Sonic kind of teases him. He's like, "Hey, Knuckles, when are you and Julie still gonna tie the knot?" And he's just like, "My word to her is as good as anything. I don't need anything else." And I'm like, that's really sweet. To have a relationship where like you don't actually need to like make everything official with a wedding and like just your word to each other is enough. I think that is just the sweetest thing ever. And it just shows a lot for your relationship, in my opinion at least. So I always loved seeing these two together. I thought they were really cute. The color palette might clash a little bit because again, you have like Knuckles who is this pure red echidna, and then you have Julius who's like she's primarily pink, but then she has some purple tips in her hair, and I'm like that kind of clashes a little bit, and it looks a little weird, but then like it's okay. It's cute. I love it. No judgments. Nothing. Well,
No,
fine.
not really.
Fair enough. I love how I'm not the one getting judged here, but Skull is.
Mhm.
I'm saying that now. I don't know where Skull is. Skull, if you're muted, you're muted.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Skull's muted.
Oh, they are. Okay. Well, lucky for him. The next one is one of my ships as well. Gosh. So I know I mentioned that I do ship like Adrian and Luca and Marinette with Kagami, but I also do ship Lady Noir, which is basically Cat Noir and Ladybug. Now I understand the love square. I understand that it's basically just Adrian and Marinette with another coat of paint, but I tend to disagree because Adrianette, we get all these like really cute, fluffy kind of moments that it's like, aw, they're cute, or look at that, that's adorable. But then you look at Lady Noir, and they actually have the relationship, they have the dynamic there. Because honestly, like, there's not really much there for Adrianette other than a few cute moments, which I will admit are quite cute. But Lady Noir has the actual dynamic that I can appreciate. Sure, Ladybug does like I appreciate it more in season 4, but I also feel like they could have like taken the bad elements and really pushed it forward more than they did. But I do appreciate that Ladybug is obviously the leader. She's very strong and dependable, but she can also be that type of person who feels like that she needs to carry everything on her own. That she needs to be strong. That she can't rely on anyone else, which I do appreciate because I was once that kind of person myself, and I've known lots of people like that, where they shoulder the burden by themselves and they will push others away. For the most part, at least. She still relies on Alia. Oh boy. Um, but I do love Cat Noir for his like his goofiness, and he really balances out the seriousness of Ladybug. And they are cute. I will admit the flirting gets
Yeah.
a little extreme sometimes in Cat Noir, and like obviously in like season 4 he does. There are some moments where he feels like a little more entitled to like not really Ladybug's affections, but like I'm like kind of like the I was your first partner. Why aren't you coming to me kind of thing in some episodes. But again, they didn't really go full circle as they could have. There were some moments here and there where he felt underappreciated, but I'm just like, dude, it's just circumstance. I'm sorry about that, bro, but like you were just not what she needed at the time. Like for a majority of the season, he was there for her. Like he was there when she needed him. And I'm just like, I don't see what the deal is, but it's like people are like, oh, sad boy Cat Noir, all season 4 just because Ladybug doesn't love him. I'm just like, this is it? I was expecting more, but I do like how season 4 ended where she admitted her faults to him, how she admitted that she pushed him away, kept him at arm's length, and like all this stuff. And I do appreciate that she does come clean, and it's like the first step towards like the reestablishing the relationship as healthy again. And you know, Cat Noir being there for her, like even when she royally messed up because she lost all the miraculous, he was still there by her side. Like he recognized, like, hey, you made a mistake. It's not entirely your fault, but you need someone in your corner, and that will be me. So I do appreciate their dynamic because they are there for each other. For the most part, obviously Ladybug had some issues there, but it's I love it. It's really cute. It's definitely a better dynamic than Adrianette because I don't care for like the clumsy falling over each other kind of thing that Marinette has going on for Adrian. And obviously Adrian has that when he's confronted with like Ladybug, because he has that same feelings towards Ladybug that Marinette has towards Adrian. But with this, like, they don't know who each other are. They can sincerely be who they are to their core. And it's a potential for a very healthy relationship if they allowed it. And it's probably my favorite of the 4 canonical ones of this whole love square. Kinda love
Oh
it.
boy.
Yeah, no, you have Adrianette, which is what's gonna become canon anyway, which technically Lady Noir will be too. I say it will be, but like they might flip the script on me, so we don't know here. And then like was Adrian Bug or Ladrian? I don't know. It's one of the two. Where it's like it's basically just Adrianette with another coat of paint. And then you have Mary Shat, which is basically the toxic one, and I'm like, all right, I go with Lady Noir because that's probably the most functional, healthy one out of all of them. But
Oh
yeah,
boy.
yeah, no, it's don't get into Miraculous unless you really want to dive into this fandom because this is definitely a shipping fandom. Not gonna lie.
I now pass slight judgment, but at the same time, I have no right because of Homestuck.
Exactly. So the next one is me again, and this is actually me being a degenerate here. My turn, Skull.
Oh,
Okay,
Lotus
so
being a degenerate. I
I'm
need to
gonna
see
say
this.
I'm gonna say this now. So this is Lightning and Hope from Final Fantasy 13. So I know people are gonna look at me and raise an eyebrow, because those who have played the game know that in Final Fantasy 13 in the first game, Hope is a kid.
Oh
Uh,
boy.
Yes, but, and I'm gonna say this with a big but, because I have played all the way through the trilogy for the most part. I have never beat 13, because, like, I don't know. I just never have. But I have played all the way through 13.2 and 13.3. 13.3 several times, because it's fan service for someone like me who loves Lightning. But, essentially, in 13.2, Sarah and Noel are the protagonists, where, so they're going through time, basically going forward through time, and we see that Hope is an adult, and he is an adult through actually majority of the his appearances is him as an adult, unless they're flashbacks, because if they're flashbacks, they're them in the first game as him as a kid. But excuse me. For the majority of 13.2, he's an adult, and it is established in 13.3 that when everything went to hell and Etro died and the world basically collapsed in upon itself, left with just chaos in its wake, that Hope was an adult at this time. Because it showed a flashback of him, fucking Snow, and Noel all coming together to try and, like, commit to doing something to help everyone out. So it is clear that he is an adult. It is made clear that. And then even when they save the souls and move on to the next world, Hope doesn't revert back to being a kid. He is an adult in the kind of like the afterwards, the aftermath, essentially. So I am a degenerate in this form because when it comes to the kid form of Hope, I see it more of like a brother-sister relationship. But when I see the adult Hope with Lightning, I'm like, technically, they're only a couple years different now. Because Hope actually does age. I
can't really say anything because I really can't say anything. I'm starting to fall into that pit with Kaya and Lloyd, where they have like this very brotherly bond.
But like we've also established that it's the same thing. Like Lloyd does grow up. Like even if in like one episode, like
yeah,
you know, you've watched it. I've watched it. I'm the one that had explained that to you.
Yeah.
But no, it's like
yeah.
I believe Lightning is like 23, 24. Once they like reset the world, not really reset the world, like create a new world, I guess is a better way to say it. When the old world died and they created a new one, I believe she's like 23, 24 or something like that, because she's supposed to be at least a couple of years older than Sarah, and Sarah's like 21, I think, in the new world, and Hope stays 22. So he is an adult by the end of the series, which makes the ship a little bit more easier to digest for me. At least a little bit more now. I admit when I was younger, I liked seeing Lightning and Kid Hope a little bit more. But like that was when I was a teenager. I was a fucking idiot. But yeah, see, but no, like now that I see it, I'm like, I definitely like the idea of Lightning with the adult Hope a lot better. I think they make a cute pairing, mostly because I like the just the rose pink hair with like the silver white. I'm like, oh, it's beautiful. I don't know why, but there's like anime guys with silver hair, like silver white hair. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Don't even get me started on like Prince Zen from Snow White with red hair. Like, holy fuck, that man was gorgeous. I would say more adorable than
You
anything
don't
else,
need,
but like,
you don't need to say anything to me when it comes to men.
I know I don't. You don't have any standards.
Hush, I have some.
Where I don't see
No,
them.
you don't.
I
What
have an
standard?
extent. I
Uh
have
huh.
a limit.
Uh huh. Anyway.
But it mostly comes down to personality,
Uh
not
huh.
looks.
Uh huh. That's the catch ring right there. But no, yeah, I like his like Lightning is that very uh closed in, like I'm gonna carry my own burdens, I don't need anyone else, get the fuck out. And she slowly does open up, and then Hope is this very smart kid who's very like, he knows what he's doing. I give him that. And like, I don't know, I think that's really cute just seeing their dynamic. It also doesn't help that in like the first game, like they spend a fair amount of time together, so you see their dynamic grow between the two of them, and then they spend 13-3 together. I'm like, okay, that's all I needed. Though it's kind of hinted that Hope might have a crush on Vanille, and I'm like, honey, that ain't gonna work. She's with Fang. But anyway, moving on. Son of a bitch. Now it's my turn to talk a lot, Skull. See, you had to complain.
Oh?
It is Marinette and Kagami. So this is actually the last one for Miraculous Ladybug. Again, it's the same reason why I like Adrian and Luca, because even though they're obviously meant to be opposites to each other, and like, because in some way Adrian and Kagami do complement each other the same way that Luca and Marinette do. But in the same light, you have Kagami who complements Marinette and Adrian who complements Luca, and all that kind of stuff. It's why I like it, because you have Marinette who's very unsure about herself. She's very doubtful, hesitates and all that stuff. Like, she's your typical insecure teenager. Well, I wouldn't say
Teenager?
yeah, she's your basic teenager. I have like kind of ride that line if Marinette's actually insecure, but I think she does have her moments where you see her insecurities. But I really like Agami because she's very sure of herself. She doesn't hesitate. She knows what she wants. She goes for it, and she doesn't like to play games, whereas Marinette does. So they do complement each other. It's that kind of thing like opposites do attract, but in a way where it's complementing, where they won't like completely butt heads. Like in the show, they do butt heads because they're trying to get to know each other, trying to find common ground and whatnot, which can be difficult when you're basically the complete opposite to someone. But in a way, they do complement each other, and it's very nice to see the dynamic. And I really do think that if Miraculous would go that route and make their love interests at least like pansexual or bisexual, it would be really cool to see like Marinette with Kagami or Adrian with Luca. I think it would be good pairings for like this show. But I know they're not gonna do it because we all know Adrianette's endgame, and that's what makes it sad. So that's all I gotta say. Like, really, it's just Adrian and Luca, but the girl version. um, I hate this. Now I'm talking more. All right, so this is the only Overwatch ship I have on here, and that is Moira and Mercy.
Oh.
I I don't ship a lot of Overwatch people. I really don't. I mean, I do tend to like McCree and Hanzo fan art. It is quite nice to see and cute. Or even Reyes or Reaper and Soldier 76. I think they're cute together as well. Before Overwatch fell apart, but I don't know why Moira and Mercy, they have history in the, not really like romantic history, but they were like colleagues because Moira is a scientist and Mercy is a doctor.
Oh.
Moira is that type of scientist where like she will experiment on basically anything to test out new results, to push things further, essentially. Kind of almost like immoral science, I guess you could say, where you're trying to like really push the boundaries of what we know to discover something new and make something new on top of that. But because of your practices, they're deemed rather
Oh
immoral.
boy.
Yeah, she's one of those. And Mercy is
Sounds like
a doctor.
Sounds like early psychology.
Yeah, pretty much. But like Mercy is a doctor. So they're kind of similar in that regard where they do have history clearly through Overwatch cuz Moira worked with Blackwatch, the the edgier Overwatch essentially. The Overwatch in the shadows. And Mercy was working with like the main branch of Overwatch. So they would have come in contact with each other. They have dialogue with each other in what is it in the game that just shows like they would have a very now they would have a rivalry kind of romance. But I feel like back then they could have had something a little more genuine. Still probably a little more of a rivalry because Mercy does see a lot of Moira's practices as unethical, which, yeah, they are. A lot of things that Moira does is indeed unethical. I will give her that. But this would probably be like one of the big rival romances I actually really do enjoy. But I like the fan art more of them when they were in Blackwatch and Overwatch personally. 'Cause it's just cute. I don't know why. It has a different air to it than what it would in the game now, essentially. Plus, for some reason, people like
Lotus
to.
earlier.
Yes.
In like one of those meme formats, Lotus earlier. I am judging you for your rivalships. Also, Lotus, I like this rivalship.
Exactly. Thank you. Yep. I'm not gonna lie. I do enjoy this one. This one is nice. But again, like I'd say more in current Overwatch, it would be a rival romance. But I feel like again, like if it was like back in the days of Blackwatch and Overwatch before it was all disbanded, I feel like it would be more of a genuine connection between the two. Just just how they are. Maybe it might be rivalry. It's hard to tell because people change and
You get no
everything.
judgment over my rivalships now.
I judge still. You judge me, and I judge you. That's how it works around here.
I'm more so judging you for judging me about my ship, and then like
That's the point.
immediately
We're
just
here to
like
judge each
this.
other. Which you can help me with this because you share this ship. Well, you don't really share it, but like you like it too. I know you do.
What?
Noctis Impromptu.
I don't have content for games. They're cute.
They're very cute. I haven't played much of 15 only because I get pissed off every single time I try to do the open world thing and I get fucking bombarded by whatever those Psycom ripoffs. I'm saying it. They remind me of Psycom from Final Fantasy 13. And if I piss off people, oh well. But I really do enjoy the dynamic of all the boys for that matter. I kind of like ship them all a little bit to some degree, but Noctis and Prompto definitely take the cake on that. Basically, this is my version of your Poly Ninja, where I ship all the
Yeah.
boys in the friend group for Final Fantasy 15. I do like seeing all the ships with them. I do like seeing Noctis with like each of them individually, like Noctis and Gladius. Gladius.
Yes.
Noctis and Ignis. And then, but I definitely like Noctis and Prompto a lot more, just because one, like they've been best friends since ever, so they're basically like childhood friends. I wouldn't say they're brother, like it would borderline brothers, because you know how like whenever you get those childhood sweetheart kind of tropes, it kind of borders into like the brother and sister kind of territory, just because of how long they've known each other, kind of thing. Because, like, in real life, it would actually be that kind of relationship because you've known each other so long. It'd be more of, like, a sibling relationship, not a romantic one. But people like to think it's romantic. They've definitely been friends for a long time. But I would say it's not that close enough to where it would be, like, they'd be, like, brothers. Which makes it cute for me, because, like, just because it doesn't reach that kind of territory. And they just have moments where, like, I could have sworn there was, like, one moment, because mind you, it's been a while since I've touched the game and, here and there. But there's like one moment where I think you talk to Prompto and he's just like, "Do you like having me around?" And he's like, "Yes, I love having you around. What the fuck do you mean?" And he's like, "But I'm not as special as the other two." And I'm like, "I don't fucking care. You're here for me and I want you here." It's like it's definitely really cute. I love this. Like Prompto is such a sweet boy. I love him. I love his love of chocobos. He's just so lighthearted and fun. The video game nerd essentially, and I'm just like, I like it. I really do. And then Noctis is Noctis. There's not really much to say about him. He exists. He's I don't know. I feel like Noctis is more of a blank slate, but it works. He likes to sleep. He likes to fish. I know that much about him. But no, I think Noctis and Prompto are really cute. Even with
I'm just
context,
gonna
they're so
sit here
cute.
and die. I'm
Good.
just gonna sit here and die because this art is really cute.
Well, I know what to get you to squeal with later. Remember that? Now let's let Dex know too. So
Sure.
now we go to you, Skull.
Oh
Your turn.
boy, is it the one? Is it the one?
Patroclus and Achilles. Patroclus and Achilles.
Patroclus and Achilles. Okay, so this one actually does have ties in Greek mythology, but it depends on which version of the Greek myths you look at. But there are some versions of the Greek myth where they did have like that romantic thing, like even in their story. But with Hades, their relationship and your entire like story arc with them is, you know, okay, you're Zagreus, you're Hades, you're the son of Hades, right? You have power in the underworld. They're both dead. You're gonna pull some strings and reunite them, and it's cute. I haven't gotten to actually see the cutscene for myself, but apparently, like the little scene where they're reunited is really wholesome, and just they're cute. And once you start getting to learn about their relationship, you see just how torn apart they both are about it. With Pat, when you first meet him, he's sitting by the river Styx and he's like contemplating, do I want to drink from the river and forget everything? Because he's just so heartbroken about being separated from Achilles.
So
It's just
I
and like
definitely...
the entire reason why they're separated is because Achilles was like, well, he went out and fought and died, and like it's my fault, and so like I'm gonna sit here and I'm going to bear this burden and suffer so he can have a good afterlife in the place where he belongs because he died a hero. But Pat doesn't want all of that. He just wants Achilles.
Huh. I will say, when it comes to like the story of Troy and all its characters and things like that, I never knew about Patroclus or whatever however the fuck you say it. Who was the chick that they usually paired with Achilles when it came to that kind of myth?
Oh God,
It just tells you how
there's
memorable
so
she is.
yeah.
Well, there was one in particular that always kept coming up. I remember there was like a movie that they kind of did. I don't really remember what her name was. I know she was like one of the was it Trojans, one of the Troys, people of Troy. I remember that much. But then even I was reading it. Oh, this is like this really old, not really old book. Like,
Reese's.
is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay. I definitely see that chick a lot more. Especially came up in a book. I don't remember what it's called. It was like a trilogy where
But the thing is she wasn't like paired with him. It was okay. Achilles, you're a hero. Here's your concubine prize.
well, here's the thing, though, like every time that she was brought up in the media I consumed with like Achilles and this bitch, it was more like it was before they sacked Troy. And that kind of thing. Like she came in as they were going to attack Troy, basically, when they were like going to war with the Trojans, essentially. I don't think it's the same person, is it?
No. But before Achilles was supposed to marry Eurydice, he had a sexual relationship with Pat. But it was never actually said if it was like more than just a sexual relationship. A lot of people
and
like
historians
to
would remember them as
just...
best friends.
Yeah, because you know people who intake the media are like, no, being gay is bad. But when you actually look to like Greece in the past, like polyamory was a very common thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well,
it was,
to
like,
some degree, because then you
gay.
still have the myths of like Aphrodite's affair where she gets busted for sleeping with Ares while she's married. I think it also just kind of depends on which myth you're looking at.
But I mean, do you really have much to say there when like Greek mythology is full of incest and sleeping with animals and all sorts of other fuckery that happens that isn't acceptable in today's standards?
Yeah, I know. I'm very fully.
I mean, come on, how many children did Zeus have with animals?
Well, I thought you were gonna say in general. I'm like, isn't the entire pantheon his like children, essentially? Also,
Oh yes, this is my mom, my sister. It's like,
and then, like, not
except for
even to
Athena, she
mention
came out of
how
his head.
most of their marriages weren't even like consensual at all. Like the only one I'd say is remotely consensual was Hades and Persephone.
Yes, but it also depends on which version of the myth that you read.
Yeah, and then who's adapting it too? Because there's some people who adapt and they're like, yeah, no, she didn't want this, but it's like, I don't know. It felt like even in the original myth, like
Kidnapped.
she did, like she loved Hades. Like maybe she didn't appreciate the kidnapping, mind you, but she did love him because they actually did have the healthiest relationship out of all the gods. Because every time they were like depicted
Yes,
together
yes. they
in
did.
mythology, it was always as a couple. Like they were genuinely a healthy,
Yeah.
functioning couple. They weren't
Oh
like
yeah.
Zeus and Hera.
Yeah. Let's not get on to let's see. Heracles being one of the biggest examples of like Zeus being a not so great husband.
Apollo and Artemis. Can't forget about that one too. Or Athena.
Yeah.
Remember when he got that wife pregnant and then realized that child that she would have had would have overthrown Zeus, so he ate her and then gave birth to Athena through his forehead? Forget about that one. Yeah, Greek mythology is something else. We might talk about that one day, maybe. Let's go have a
I,
field day.
I love Greek mythology. I love Greek
We couldn't tell.
mythology. And
But
Norse mythology. I like mythology.
I'm gonna move on to the next ship for you, which is that poly ship with the two boys plus Zag.
Ah, yes. So, just this one, my only explanation is I stumbled across this fanfiction series that I
Oh,
find to be
Lord.
really cute. But, it's an AU,
Well, I mean,
and,
obviously.
essentially it's like, Pat's a baker.
That's a
No.
baker. What do you mean a bake?
No. No, like, he's like a YouTuber. But, like, his entire thing is, like, he does baking videos on YouTube. Zagreus is his editor, and Achilles is, like, a gardener of some kind. No, landscaper. But anyways,
What the fuck am I listening to?
so, I don't know. I don't know how I friggin' stumbled across. No, wait, no, it was Twitter. It was Twitter.
Of course it was
What are
Twitter.
we
Why would
listening
it be
to?
Twitter?
Thank Twitter for
Oh my
that.
god.
You know, Raptor, I don't know
Thank
either.
Twitter for that. I can't really say anything beyond just like the dynamic
It's cute.
written is really cute.
That's what I thought you were gonna say.
Yes.
So is that it?
Yes.
Nothing else on this one?
Like, but I mean, there's like with Zagreus and Achilles, there's like this very strong mentor and student relationship, and just like that. So like, just I don't have any justification or explanation for this one beyond their cute and fanfiction. It led to me shipping it.
Alright. Well, next one belongs to me, don't you worry. They'll steal the spotlight from you for a little bit, Skull. This is actually the only Steven Universe ship I have on here, which is surprising given how many of like the characters are shippable in that fandom. But
Yes.
surprisingly, actually,
Very much.
one of them is probably like the one that you wouldn't expect them at all together is Pearl and Jasper. So like even before like they reveal a pink diamond being rose quartz, which is spoiler if you don't already fucking know, which I don't know how you wouldn't. But anyway, I enjoyed just like this meek little Pearl just like showing off that she can be better than this overly perfect quartz, essentially. And it's just something about the power dynamic is really out because Jasper is clearly far more stronger than Pearl, and will always be much stronger than Pearl just because that's how Jasper was made.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even though Pearl was able to take down Sugalate, it was only just because like she outsmarted Sugalate. But like Jasper is a warrior, a perfect warrior. I don't think Pearl would be that lucky when it comes to Jasper.
Yeah. No.
No, I mean we saw Amethyst lose to Jasper very easily. It took Stevonnie and Lion to take down Jasper. Um, which would make sense because like Stevonnie's a person that can think and has been trained. Connie's been trained. Like Steven has obviously some understanding of combat, so like it's different, and like they have a different strength level compared to like Amethyst because Steven's a diamond. It's
Yeah.
different, but like I think it's a cute pairing. Personally, it's probably wouldn't be the healthiest, but I wouldn't say it would be extremely toxic. It's not Lapis and Jasper. That is toxic. I do enjoy some fan art of that, but I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite ships. I mostly like it for the color palette with the blue and the orange for Lapis and Jasper. But
Complementary colors, and you were judging me for that earlier.
yes, well then they fuse into Malachite, and then like just the green on top of that just makes for a really nice combination. Plus, it makes me think of like the original trio of Jasper, Lapis, and Peridot. So, oh, so it's just a nice little combination of colors. But like, I don't really have too much justification for Jasper and Pearl, only because like I think it's cute personally, like the way they look. I don't think it would ever obviously happen because as much as we like to pretend Pearl has moved on from Rose, Pink Diamond, we all know she hasn't. Let's be fair, she really hasn't. Even when she has
And
Bismuth and
Lotus,
others, but like
and Lotus is judging me for this kind of stuff while they're sitting and shipping things for very similar reasons that I have.
hey, this is why I'm encouraging the judging, alright? You have ample opportunity to judge me. You guys haven't judged me up till this point, alright? I don't want to hear jack
I'm
shit.
just judging you for being a hypocrite.
We're all hypocrites here, motherfucker. Deal with it. Every single one of us. When you say you're not a hypocrite, you're a fucking hypocrite. I will never deny I'm a hypocrite. I know exactly what the fuck I am. Bring it. Now judge me for something more than just that. Speaking of which, is one of yours Pepsi Cola?
Ah, yes.
Another
So,
homestead?
yes. John and Dave have like a very close friendship, and just there is dynamic. There is dynamic. Um, they have this really fun back and forth banter that I really enjoy out of just. I like pairings of characters or general relationships where they can have this really fun back and forth banter.
Where they have the good chemistry,
And
basically.
yes, yes.
Chemistry where they can play off each other and it feels genuine and flows. Which is kind of essential for anything
Yes.
when you think about it.
Yes.
But is that all? Just because
Also, well, it's like another thing is Dave in the comic comes off as this person who's like, I don't really care, like I'm this cool guy, right? But he shows that he cares quite a bit about like the things
so
that
your typical
he
bad
cares
boy
quite a
with
bit
a
about
heart
John
of
and
gold.
knows his likes. Yeah, well, like John really likes shitty movies and stuff, like just these. He likes
So the nerd.
Nicolas Cage movies, and yeah, he's a huge nerd. And for John's birthday, Dave went as far as to getting him an actual movie prop for one of his favorite movies, to be like, here, this is for you for your birthday. And even though John ends up losing it, it's just like there's just something really special about Dave going so far out of the way to find this really obscure movie prop for John.
I can understand that. There's be another one I don't judge you on. there anything else you want to add to this one? Or would that be all?
I have a fun fact that you might judge me a bit for when it comes to the ship names.
Alright. Let's hear it.
Aside from Pepsi Cola and John Dave, there is also the ship name of Hammer Time because Dave time travels and John fights with hammers. That's literally the entire explanation for that ship name.
I hate everything. I hate everything. Alright, moving on. I think
Hey, I
Sierra's
could have gone
after.
on with the Dave and Carcat one for
Yes, I'm
how
glad you
stupid some of
did.
those ship
No.
names are.
Alright. Oh, this one will be the last one. Alright, so one of them has been skipped because it was added in last. Keep that in mind, Skull. This one is one of Raptors. Saihara and Oma?
I
that
think
one?
that one's actually one of Skull's, technically.
Yeah,
Is
that's
it?
the one
I
that
don't, I
reminded
don't
me.
ship them.
I have no explanation for this beyond Kokichi's an annoying little shit, and
Judging you.
okay, shut up, Raptor. They have this entire like Kokichi is this annoying little shit most of the time, and like throughout the entire set of character interactions you get with Danganronpa V3, you're playing as Shuichi the entire time, and start deepening your relationship. Kokichi's just like, oh, I'm part of this evil organization, and now that you know this, we'll have to kill you, so I'm gonna play these games with you or whatever. And it's like, he keeps purposefully losing, but you don't realize he's purposefully losing throughout the entire thing, and it's like, he's just got this entire, oh, like, I'm gonna kill you or whatever. But like, deep down, you know that he's just messing with Shuichi. He really doesn't want to kill him.
Oh. Okay.
It's just, it's just cute, fun dynamic.
I was about to say, it sounds like the dynamic you like there. Alright, so the next one is another whatever you call it, but it definitely is one of Raptors, I believe. Holy fuck, what is this one? Sakuroi? I don't fucking know how to say this. All I know is the first word is Sakura.
Oh,
Sakura.
Sakura Naoi Asahina?
Thank you. You guys have center stage. Let's hear it. Why do you like this one?
Man, those people, honestly. They
Judging you.
I mean,
You can't even explain why you like the ship.
Well, he said they were adorable. I mean, that counts as explaining it.
He was judging you for this earlier.
Yeah, I'm still judging you for it.
I'm pretty sure the game depicted them to be like best friends.
Best friends. And well, he's cutting in and out. What do you say of it, Skull?
I honestly have no issue with this. They do look really cute. Another thing is like, I don't know why, but it seems like this running theme. There's always like the athletic character in the Danganronpa games, and for whatever reason, there's like this running theme of people always shipping the athletic characters. And you've got Aoi, who's a swimmer, and then Sakura, who is, I believe, a martial artist. And so it's just like, you've got these two like athletic type characters, and everyone's just like, yes.
I can definitely see it. I don't know why.
I mean, both are athletic.
It's that kind of thing where like you do have the opposites attract, but then you also have like where like people who are very similar are attracted to each other as well. So it goes both ways. You guys have anything else to add through this one, or can I move on to the next one?
Move on.
Move on. All right.
It,
Okay, now we can
Yeah.
start judging Skull more, Raptor. You ready for this
Is
one?
this the one that I think it is?
It is! It's the Shark Prince.
Okay. Oh.
I'm already judging
That's
you.
what I thought it was.
Well, I'm already judging you, so just know that.
I don't really have much to say here beyond, you have Link, who is like the very strong silent type. I mean, he chooses to be strong silent, yes. Then you have Sidon, who's just like very loud, cheerful, bubbly, and
I
just...
mean, I personally.
Go on, Raptor.
I'm sorry, they're cute.
I mean, I understand why people ship Link with Sidon because, like, I've obviously I've played Breath of the Wild. I've done at least that. One of the first places
They
I
have a
actually,
better dynamic than he has a better dynamic or better possible dynamic with Link than Zelda does. I'm sorry. I don't like Zelda in Breath of the Wild. I find her to be really annoying. I don't care if she gets character development. She annoyed me and pissed me off consistently throughout the entirety of Breath of the Wild and Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. I hate her with all my heart.
I mean, it's
Because
kind of funny because I had
they
that.
gave her a voice, they gave her personality, they put her into the stupid friggin' princess thing, and I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate her. That's it. Gonna flip the table.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I honestly prefer Link with what is
Mifa? Yes.
Mipha? I was about to say Midna. I'm like,
Yes.
nope, not that one. I do like Link with Mipha more than Link with Sidon, but I definitely see why people like this one because, again,
Yes.
Sidon is very bubbly and cheerful, and he's there. He's there cheering you on the entire
Yes.
time. And I'm not gonna lie, he's got one sexy voice. I will give him that. It's the same reason why I
Yes.
really like Fenris because Fenris has a really nice, sexy voice, and I'm like, okay. It's kind of the reason why, like,
Yeah.
if I didn't hate Maven Blackbriar in Skyrim, I'd actually side with the Imperials. Because funny little thing is that the Imperials in Skyrim are voiced by the same voice actor that did Fenris in Dragon Age 2. So, like, yeah. Again, like, I can appreciate that because one, his voice, I like Sidon's voice. Sidon's voice is actually very nice. Um, he's very, you know,
Yes.
bubbly. He's cheerful. He constantly is like, "You're great. You're awesome. You're basically my best friend. You saved us, and my sister loved you, and I love you." Essentially, it's what he's basically like saying.
Yes.
Basically, what he's saying is like, and again, like Link, it's Link. Honestly, like if I'd say since like he doesn't remember anything, and even with him getting his memories back, it's like, can you really say he's falling back in love with Zelda if like he doesn't really remember her? He just has like moments, kind of.
No. That's
Yeah.
another reason why I really hate, like, it's really obvious that Nintendo's going with the yes. Like these two are going to be together.
Well,
It's
isn't that
just
the thing?
I
Like,
don't like
so okay, so
I don't like
here's the thing. Like going on, like this is like we're going on a shipping grant for Legend of Zelda here. So I get that in some games you see Zelda and Link end up together. Like Skyward Sword, that was a natural progression. I can genuinely see in Skyward
yes.
Sword where you do see Link and Zelda end up together. That one I can understand.
Yeah.
But
It's
it's
like
not the norm for a lot of the games though.
yeah. I can say the same thing with Link and Tetra in The Wind Waker. Because,
Which is
Link
basically
saves
Zelda.
Tetra. Yeah, yeah. But he saves Tetra, and she's this pirate or whatever, and like she doesn't owe him anything. Like like the others don't think that, like her crew don't think that they really owe him anything
Right.
at all. But because he went out of his way to save her, he didn't have to do that. And the only reason why his sister got kidnapped was because of her being there, and it was just like bad timing. Like she feels the need to be like, okay, you helped me, I'm gonna help you now because like honor thing.
Right.
And there's just like, if not a relationship, then like a friendship at the very least develops throughout
Oh,
their
definitely
there
a
together.
friendship. Definitely a friendship.
But like they end up going off at the end of the game and like sailing together still, which leads into the Phantom Hourglass and then
I was
later
gonna
into
say,
Spirit
isn't
Tracks.
like those two like continuations of the Wind Waker because it has that very similar like tune
Yes.
style. That's what I thought. Cause
Yes.
you definitely
The
see it
Four
continue
Swords
on.
games are also within that same style, but
Not the
different
same universe.
continuity.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I can't say not the
Different
same.
timeline.
It's all the same universe, just
Different
yeah, different
timeline.
timeline. But no, yeah, like
Yeah.
I think it's cute seeing Link and Zelda together. Obviously, because like I can't say they're like obviously destined to be together, but like they are cute. I'm not gonna lie, they are cute. However, I do think Link does pair off better with other people when it comes to the different games. Obviously, like Skyward Sword is the
Yeah.
one of the exceptions, along with Wind Waker, because we see Link and Zelda essentially are together the entire time, but like you have something like Twilight Princess, where it's just not possible for them to actually end up together because they've literally spent no time with each other
Yeah.
outside of like the
Well,
Twilight realm.
yeah, I mean, with that one, I see, if the ending of Twilight Princess were to be different, out of all the characters that Link was around, like, even though he had the girl in, like, the village,
Yeah.
the most likely person he would end up with, just given the time he had to develop relationship with,
Midna.
would be Midna.
Yep.
If the
Honestly,
Twilight Mirror.
I'm not gonna lie. Like Midna was fine at the end. I'm like, holy shit, that she's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
I honestly when my because I had my ex beat the game because I actually Twilight Princess scared me when I was younger. But when I had my
Yeah.
ex beat the game and I saw Midna, I'm like, holy shit, she's hot.
Twilight Princess honestly still kind of terrifies me, especially like the Yeti lady in Snow Peak Ruins.
Yes, oh my
terrifies me.
gosh.
The entire transformation scene scares me still.
Okay, so I'm not the only one here. I'm glad, but oh, there's a few.
I mean, I'm still kind of scared of stuff from like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
That's
Even
the other one, Ocarina of Time. What are what are your thoughts on like the Link and Zelda there? Because that's where it breaks the timelines
I
completely.
mean, with that one, because of like the back and forth like occurred, like the on and off occurring of Sheik being Zelda and like that time, I feel like it'd be more of a friendship than an actual relationship, because it was more like when Zelda slash Sheik was there, it was more in a guiding role, and it wasn't really to like deepen any sort of like. It was like they'd be friends. I don't see romance there.
Yeah.
Especially since, you've got this boy from like small, like forest village and princess. Like there's no way it would happen.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. So one of my favorite pieces of fan art when it comes to
I'd rather.
Link with Sheik. Hold up, listen to this. Is great. So one of my favorite pieces of this is where Link is getting ready to leave a note for Zelda saying how he's fallen in love with the man named Sheik. Because yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Sheik does look like a guy. You can't really tell it's Zelda
Yeah.
a female.
Well,
And
that's
wait,
the entire goal of it though too, was like Zelda was in disguise. They didn't want people to find out that was Zelda. And I've seen a lot of people where it's like, imagine if this was like, what if Zelda was like, okay, I like being perceived as guy, and it's like one of my favorite headcanon and AU twists, but that's for another time.
that is for another time. But I mean, I definitely do like the Breath of the Wild ships that they offered because I do like Mifa. Mifa's very sweet and adorable. I mean, that's personally my favorite of the two, but I don't know. I kind of like seeing the art of Sid Link more. I think it's really cute. Plus, again, like you actually get to you kind of see Mifa and Link through flashbacks, but you don't get as
Yeah,
much as you would like with Sidon, which and again, you can go
yeah.
back and talk to Sidon too. That's the difference. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
actually talk to the boy, and I'm like, okay, I like this, but
But,
I do
but
appreciate Mifa though, just because the whole thing
yes,
with her is
if
tragic.
Mifa didn't, yeah, if Mifa didn't die, I honestly think that she would have ended up with Link, just because they had more of that connection than Zelda and Link did.
Yeah, I definitely agree there.
Like it's obvious that they both had feelings or whatever, but like just it makes more sense based on what's there. And I know it's
Yeah.
gonna piss off a lot of people in the Zelda fandom, because they're like, no, but like Zelda has to be with Link.
And it doesn't mean they have to
I
be
don't
with
like
each
it.
other. Just because, like,
I don't like. Well, even afterwards, like I don't like the direction Nintendo's going with it, or what it seems like they're going with, where it's like they're gonna end up being a thing. I can see them being friends at most, and people can make the argument of, oh, like they can make new memories or whatever, but no. There's something just not there, Zelda can pine after Link all she wants, but
you definitely tell there's a
I-
change in Link whenever. Because,
yeah,
again, like you said, he's a strong silent type. He's chosen to be that. It was made clear through flashbacks in Breath of the Wild that he chose to be that way. But even
yeah,
after he comes out of the, whatever the fuck it's called, after he comes out of it, you can tell that even though you yourself are still silent, technically, you're actually more chatty than you are in most Zelda games. So that's already a big
Yeah.
change to how Link usually is. And I do have to agree, like, I don't know, I feel like the whole thing with Zelda, again, it's just something that's not there anymore with Breath of the Wild. In the previous games, sure, definitely. I have no doubt about that. But
Yeah.
no, yeah, it's just Breath of the Wild, it's just gone. Like, I see some people
Yeah.
shipping it and they're like, "Oh, he remembered, he loved her." I'm like, he may remember the memories, but does he remember how to actually feel that way? That's the thing.
Yeah.
But
Well, like even with the flashbacks and stuff like that we Breath of the Wild, and I know there's like more expanded on in Age of Calamity, but a lot of people like to rule out the Hyrule Warriors games as non-canon. Okay, Link and Cass. I'm sorry, but Rivali is better there, and
yes.
it's still
Okay,
that
I
like
have to agree with
rival.
Skull on this one. Sorry, Danny, but I like Rivali a lot more than Cass with Link, just because Rivali is that salt with extra salt. It's perfect.
Yeah.
That's probably like the one rivalry romance I will pair with you. Well, is it really rivalry if only it's like one-sided? Because I don't think I get the feeling that Link never really was that much of a rival. At least saw Rivali as much of a rival. Like it was definitely there for Rivali, but like
No.
I don't know. I feel like Link
No,
was
it
too
was
easygoing.
more so just
Rivali's
no.
insecure. Say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. So Big Merman just hits diff.
But like but Dandy, that's the thing, like if you look at
Always
every
serenading with
other
music.
race than the high they're all bigger. They're always bigger though, that's the thing. That's why Dark Prince is best. Because he's big.
You big.
He's big.
Alright. We're gonna move on to the next one. I think
But
we
yeah.
should have fun about on this one. We might have to come back to the Zelda franchise at some point. What do you say, Skull?
I put it in the episode suggestions
Alright,
channel.
good. Okay, this one's
Because
me.
I could go on for hours.
I can go on for hours with this one. Okay, so this is another Sonic ship. Probably one.
So you guys.
I didn't hear what you said. So this one is Sylvaise, Silver and Blaze. So this was actually
Okay, this one's cute.
okay. So yeah,
Just
so
there.
I was exposed to this one obviously from Sonic 06, and say what you want
Mhm.
about that game, I actually enjoyed it. I understand it's a buggy, broken mess, but like, look at any Bethesda game and tell me different. You can still break the game in those ones. So Sonic 06 being a broken, glitchy game is not an excuse for me for people to hate it. Now when you have games like Fallout 76, so like you can't come at me with that response. Especially when you can go flying across the map in Skyrim just for positioning your horse a certain way and then dismounting the horse. How you can climb up a fucking mountain with a horse. How you can use a bucket to ascend to the heavens. You can't fucking tell me that it's an excuse to not like a game when some of like the most popular games in the RPG are broken ass fucking glitchy ass games. So I will say to those who tell me Sonic 06 is too buggy to play, go play Skyrim and Fallout 76 and tell me what you think. Or even Cyberpunk. I don't fucking care. Any modern game, go play it and tell me how many bugs and glitches you can find.
I can't really say anything given the fact that like 90% of the games I was exposed to and still am being exposed to are Nintendo games. And like, yeah, there's issues with Nintendo games, but a lot of it, well, at least like with the Zelda series, a lot of the issues with the Zelda games come around because, you know, they have these really ambitious projects and like the budget and then their time limit just don't allow for the game to reach full potential.
Yeah, they're not quite like the AAA releases where it definitely hits different with those. But I can say with like Silver and Blaze was probably the first big one that was actually in the games that I shipped because they were actually introduced together in Sonic 06. That's actually where I was first exposed to Silver because Silver hands down became my favorite character because he very much gave off that very naive energy, like that sweet, like almost cinnamon roll that can kill you energy. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because like he has the psychic
yes.
powers, he knows how to use them, but he's also a little sweetheart. Because literally in his story, because like the whole point of his story with Blaze is that he wants to make a better future for himself and his world, the one that's been racked by flames of Iblis. And he's told by Mephiles that in order to fix his world, he has to kill Sonic, essentially. He doesn't give any explanation why. He's just told that Sonic is the reason why his world goes to hell. Which, obviously, we learn later that, obviously, if Sonic dies, at least will cry, and then that releases the flames. But, you see the entire time he's so motivated and driven to kill Sonic, he believes that this is the right course of action. So, you can commend him for that, just having that drive and just determination to make things better. Is it the right thing killing someone? No, not necessarily, but sometimes you have to do what's best for the greater good. It's kind of that argument where do I spare one life but sacrifice many more, or do I kill this one life and spare everyone else? It's that kind of conundrum, kind of thing, and I do appreciate Silver's story for that because it's never an easy answer to get. It's
It's
always
it's um
it's one of the hardest
it's
questions to
like
ask.
trying to do the right thing, but technically for the wrong reason.
Exactly. And there is a point where Silver does even question this, where he's just like, hey, Blaze, is it really a good idea to kill someone just to make a better future? And obviously, Blaze isn't having really this moral dilemma because I don't know, I feel like she's a little more confident in these choices. Like, she knows what needs to be done. She's kind of like that fearless leader type where she really won't hesitate to do what needs to be done. Like again, yes, it's where Silver will question it, but Blaze won't because she knows what needs to be done, kind of thing. Like she does not hesitate, she goes for what needs to be done, no matter how hard that choice is. And I do, on one hand, I do appreciate that for Blaze. And she's the one who's like, Silver, we have to do this. It may not be necessarily the right thing to do, it may be a wrong thing to kill someone, but we have to, it's like we have to save our future. We have to save our home. What does this timeline matter if we still suffer in ours, essentially, kind of thing. Which is why their dynamic works. They are friends. They help each other, and they are also each other's kind of like rock almost. Um, but then, like, Silver finally understands. He explains it to Blaze, and they do have a means of getting rid of Iblis. They have a way of saving their future. And they do team up with Sonic in the end, which is nice. And in the end, Silver and Blaze do go back to their time. But it's probably just watching the two together through the entire game. And when you get to the end of Silver's story, it's probably the most gut wrenching thing, especially for me when I was a kid, because I love seeing them together. Silver was such a sweetheart. He really is the definition of a cinnamon roll that can kill you, um, if under the right circumstance. Where Silver is trying to reenact the sealing of Iblis and trying to seal Iblis into him, but Iblis refuses to accept him as a vessel. That's when Blaze steps in as like a self sacrifice almost, because she knows what she's doing and what she's volunteering to, because she's like, let me do it. My soul is alit with flames. I will be accepted as the vessel. She knows already, because again, she is a fire. Her powers are fire. Literally, everyone knows that. Even in Sonic Rush, everyone knew she was a fire cat essentially. Um, so Iblis does accept her as the vessel, and what happens next is probably one of the most gut wrenching things. Again, it tore my heart out when I was a kid, a teenager essentially, in high school. High school. Hi, I know. Um, but essentially she tells Silver quickly, use the Chaos Emeralds to seal us in a different dimension. Essentially getting rid of Iblis forever, but also getting rid of her. And Silver tries to stop her. He fights her. He's just like, how is this the right thing to do? You're my best friend, right? And all she says, she turns, and this is what really kicks the ship off for me. She turns around and says, you're so naive, but I've always liked that about you. And then at that moment, she uses the Chaos Emeralds to send herself to a different dimension. And right before she vanishes, she says, "Good luck, Silver." And the moment she's gone, all the dark clouds disappear and there's just blue skies and sunlight raining down on Silver, but like he's all alone. Even talking about it now makes me want to cry. Like Silver is left alone in the end of this. And I think that's probably like the most tragic thing about their ship is because they had a friendship like they could almost like have been in love because like again like Silver saying you're my friend, right? Like don't leave me, I need you, kind of thing. And then Blaze to say you're such a naive boy, but I've always liked that about you. I almost wish he would have said love, but like it's so hard to deny this ship for what it is because Silver just is torn
Yeah.
apart, and Blaze, there's no hesitation in her. She knows what she's doing. She's sacrificing herself for her friend, for his future, for their future, essentially. She believes that this is the right thing, even if it may not be necessarily good. She believes it to be, and she's gonna go through with it, and she did. That's why, like, when we transition into the comics, Silver and Blaze never met in the comics. Obviously, it's like a whole different thing. But Silver still retains a lot of those characteristics you saw in the video games, where he's very naive, good meaning, but just misguided. And it's really sweet seeing it in the comics because he does grow a little bit more. I find it kind of funny because there is actually one. So in the Sonic the Hedgehog comics that were published by Archie, they would have these little like mini strips essentially that were kind of like little goofy things that were always fun to see. And there was one that was poking fun at the Sylvaise fandom because there was this one where it was like Blaze, her raccoon friend Maureen, I think, and I think Amy, where Maureen was like drawing this like fan fiction essentially, a Blaze with a silver hedgehog. And it was really cute because like Silver was wearing this like dashing pirate outfit, and I forget what Blaze was wearing, but like it was like in a very romantic thing. Like Silver had a rose between his teeth and everything. And then like Blaze is mad that she takes the page and she starts burning it while she looks like she's ready to kill her raccoon friend. And then Amy's like, Blaze, who was that? Like like they were aware of us, and it was so validating in that moment to read that. But like I know in the new reboot of the Sonic the Hedgehog comics, they do know each other. And that's one reason I've always wanted to try and read them again, but it's not the same. But like it's a ship I've loved since '06, and it's actually why I love '06 so much is for Silver and his story. Like Sonic's story is probably the basic thing you get in any Sonic's the Hedgehog game, where he goes out, he protects someone, and he defeats Eggman. Same thing. Shadow's story is a little interesting because again, it's a personal thing, with obviously external consequences, where he's dealing with Mephiles, but also he's dealing with the fact that on the inside he's just dealing with like the world, being against the world, and just trying to like do his thing, but problems and people. So I do like Shadow story, but I think it was Silver story and his relationship with Blaze that really made me love '06, and it made me love these characters. Again, it was one of those ones that really ripped my heart out. And if you guys haven't seen like the Silver story of it, I do recommend you do give that a watch on YouTube because I'm sure someone's uploaded the cutscenes by now in this day and age. But I'm not gonna lie, like the big moment between Silver and Blaze and the end of that really cemented the ship for me personally as like a teenager, and is still why I love it. I also do think that they really do complement each other very well. Again, like the naive, well mannered but ill guided. Oh, well, I wouldn't really want to say kid, but guy. And then you have the fearless leader who knows what she needs to do and can make those sacrifices. It's like a really good pairing, and I do appreciate it for what they are. Whether it be platonic or romantic, I love them no matter what. They are just perfection. But I think that leads me to segue for the next, I think the last Sonic ship, or maybe someone else's ship. Hold up, excuse me. Um, who is next after this? Nope, yep, it's still me. So you're gonna hear me ramble some more. But I've mentioned the
Okay,
comics.
good.
You're good. I've mentioned the comics. Obviously we had Knuckles and Julisu, which was a purely comic relationship. Oh, hello. Oh. Um, and then obviously like Silver and Blaze was more cemented in the video games, mainly obviously in just the Sonic 06 story or video game. But I revert back to the comics for this one because it is the only ship for Sonic that I actually like. He's been paired with so many people, but there's only one ship that I love, and people might hate me for it because they don't like the character, but I love her. And that is Sonic and Sally. So, Sonic in the comics is very much how he's like in the video games. He's very reckless, impulsive, what you'd expect from Sonic. What's new? Um, the reason for Sally's existence was literally to give Sonic a love interest. But how they went about it is probably the most dynamic and unique way of creating a character solely for someone else. Because, Skull, you can probably relate to this when it comes to consuming media, and you can recognize a character immediately when they are just meant to be with someone.
Yeah.
So I can say that Sally was indeed made to be with Sonic, but the thing is, she's so much more at the same time. So obviously, Sonic is someone who would benefit from having someone who can not necessarily tie him down, but kind of reel him in a little bit. Because you need someone to balance out that recklessness and the impulsiveness. Someone who can just go along with it at the same time, but also not be afraid to like call him out on it. Sally was very much this character. She was a leader. She was a princess of a kingdom that was taken over by Robotnik. And together they created the Freedom Fighters who would work to overthrow Robotnik and restore Sally to her rightful place on the throne. Granted, this more happened when they were kids, so they've been fighting since they were basically little kids. But you see in the comics, because the comics is more Sally's thing, even though Sonic's name is on the obviously on the title, and he's kind of like supposed to be like the main character. It's also Sally's comics too because this is her world, her kingdom. Everything on the line has to do more with her than it does with Sonic. So she's just as much of a main character as Sonic is, even for being a love interest. But she's fun, she's brilliant, she is a leader to her core. And there's just so much about her. And I would say I also love her design. I like the chipmunk design for her. Obviously, like she does work. I love it. And you see obviously more characters being designed like her, to kind of fit into Sonic's world, but also for him to fit into like their world. And they're just such a good pairing. Like obviously they've fought like any couple would, but there was so many more good moments between them. And it's definitely a rocky relationship because it's teen drama. What do you expect? Sonic is a teenager, Sally's a teenager. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have that teen drama, of fights and breakups. I know for most people, they didn't like the issue 134, which is essentially been labeled the slap heard around the world, where Sonic returns after being launched into space for a year. Like he's been spending that whole year getting back to his planet and getting back to his friends and family. Well, in that entire time, they thought he was dead. Everything's kind of gotten a little more advanced. Not really too advanced, but like a lot more advanced than he was used to. Um, and he comes back, and Sally's just like, "Holy fuck, you're not dead. You're actually alive." So she was ecstatic to have him back. But Sonic, the moment he's back, he's gonna go right back into action as well. So he does that, and he gets hurt. Sally's watching this all from a distance, and she just breaks down crying, saying, "I can't lose him again." And that pain is understandable because, like, she just lost him once and she got him back when she never thought she would have. So, I can understand that, but then, like, she calls him out for, like, being selfish, which he kind of is. Like, Shadow and Maria it is the most wholesome friendship. I'm not gonna disagree with you there, Dandy. It is probably my favorite thing with Shadow. Um, but no, there's definitely a lot of discourse for Sonic and Sally, but they do eventually patch things through and they get back together. Unfortunately, towards the end of the run of the comic series for like Sonic the Hedgehog, the original one, before the um, law issues happened, um, we see that he does like obviously still care about her, and like he does get in his selfishness, he does get her killed before the world resets. And then he is given a second chance to save her, and he does. He puts aside his own selfish desires to save her so she doesn't die. But the same
No.
but I know, but then like the biggest thing came where she made the ultimate sacrifice. This is why I think it's almost like Sylvain's, but you just have to tweak Sonic a little bit more. Sonic and Silver are like the big differences here, but Sally and Blaze are very similar in these regards. Both are princesses, both are leaders, both have very similar qualities, and both will make the sacrifice no one else is willing to make. Blaze sacrificed herself to steal Iblis and sent herself away, where she would never see Silver again. Sally sacrificed herself because Robotnik was about ready to roboticize the entire planet and turn everyone into living robots. Like he did like back in the earlier days of the comics. She had her best friend Nicole reverse it. So it was all contained on her. Sally was turned into a robot to save the entire planet. And she was used as a weapon against her best friends for her sacrifice. So, like, I appreciate what Sonic and Sally are. They are basically. If Silver was a lot more confident and reckless like Sonic was, it'd basically be like Sylvain's. But I definitely appreciate them for what they are. They had a very rocky relationship. I wouldn't say rocky, but like they had a fairly healthy relationship. Like obviously they bicker, they had a good chemistry. Like she was made to be his love interest, but at the same time she became so much more. It was essentially her comics, her world, her fight that Sonic was just part of, essentially. But I think that's like the best thing about Sally. Like even though she was just made to be a love interest, she was more. She was the comics essentially. Like, she was my favorite part about reading the comics, and seeing her relationship with Sonic was probably my favorite thing. Cause I'm gonna be fair here, I don't like Sonic and Amy because one, Amy is his stalker, and I don't like that. That's just that's just not right.
Yeah.
um,
No.
I know people like to ship Sonic and Blaze. I'm not a really big fan of that because again, I'm like a ride or die Sylvain's fan, so that's a no. I can kind of see it because like honestly, Sonic Rush happened and Sonic Rush 2, so they do interact with each other in the games and even in the comics, so there is some chemistry there. Um, Obviously Sonic's been paired with like just about anyone. I can't
Yeah.
I can't really say I'm much of a fan of the gay ships with Sonic, so I'm just like I don't know. It doesn't hit with that. It just eh.
Yeah. But I mean, that's kind of like the thing that happens in fandoms is like everyone pairs everyone with everyone,
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sonic
even
was
if they
that big
should
one
be
though.
paired.
I don't know, like I guess like even when you have ones as big as like Sonic, for example, because like again, like obviously like Homestuck and Miraculous, those are kind of almost made to be like shipping fandoms. Obviously, Sonic really wasn't
Yeah.
that kind of fandom when you really think about it. Like obviously, like you have a bunch of kids and kids grow up and experience puberty and stuff like that, and they're gonna start experiencing the hormones going wild. And then this is actually kind of like a safe way for them to explore those budding feelings. So on one hand, I don't like diving into the ships for the Sonic fandom just because it's got a lot of cringy art, and I'm just like, oh, um,
Yeah.
no.
Not
Like,
not to mention that like if it's not cringy, it gets to be like the why are children drawing this stuff that they shouldn't know about yet?
that's another thing. But I mean, like I said, is in a
There's
way a healthy way for them to explore it. It's kind of like in Turning Red when Mei Mei was drawing fan art of her and another guy. It's kind of like that.
uh
But I'm gonna say with a big but. There are some drawings and works that are getting a little like where it's like uh do, do you have
too
to do
much.
this? Yeah, like a little too much. Like so I'm gonna
Is
say
this
this
necessary?
like I'm gonna say this right now. Like one character you should never just Google search is Blaze the Cat, because even though there's quite a few cute images, I'm not gonna lie, there's some cute images of Blaze the Cat, but there's also a lot of fetishized ones too, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, um, no, thank you.
Isn't there Rouge the Bat as well?
Rouge the Bat is made to be sexy though. Because literally, in one of the Sonic Adventure games with the
Yeah.
Knuckles segment, I want to say it was Sonic Adventure 1, maybe? I don't know too well, but I had this pointed out where, like, in Knuckles' theme, they literally called Rouge that sexy bat, and I'm like, you know what she was made to be. You know. And I
Yeah.
mean, do you not
Yeah,
see
fair
the
point.
fucking boobs on that lady? Like, come on.
Yeah,
Tell me otherwise.
and also the voice they gave her.
It, it's one of her most prominent features.
It's her very problem. She's got the curves, and she's got the fucking boobs. She's even got a fucking ass. And a skin tight suit on top
Yeah.
of that. With knee high boots.
Not to mention, we also acknowledge the fact that like that suit was designed to show off her
Exactly.
mountains.
Her mountains. Pretty much.
Yes, I'm going.
Yeah,
Or if I wanted to be an ass and quote raptor from early last year.
Or her pillows.
Yeah.
yeah. Those are pillows.
Uh-huh.
Or,
But though, like, but you guys get what I mean. Like, there are certain things where it's like, I
yeah.
like these ships for what they are, but the fandom has made it weird. Because again, to me, this isn't a
Yeah.
fandom that was made for shipping. This isn't Homestuck. This isn't Miraculous. It's not even Star Versus. This is one that was made for the characters for the franchise. Literally, like it's a video game franchise. You can't really say it's something made for shipping when it's primarily Sonic,
Yeah.
and the big characters you usually see a lot are Knuckles, Tails, and Shadow, and a few other ones, but no one cares about those. But like those, like those four are the big ones.
Big.
Yeah. But then like you still see like the shipping pairings, which I'm guilty of some of them. Like I like Shadow and Rouge. Even though it's obviously more of a friendship that they have, like I do appreciate how they are as a pair. Like I can appreciate that. Because they have chemistry in the games, they have chemistry in the comics, and it translates well. Again, like Dandy said, Shadow and Maria, they are a beautiful friendship. Like, is the most tragic friendship, but it is a beautiful friendship.
I think the only ship in the Sonic fandom that I ever came close to almost shipping when I was younger is probably Shadow and Silver, and I have no explanation or like recollection of why.
Uh,
It's something that I almost shipped. Like I could see it, but it was never something that I like actually shipped myself.
So I can say I can appreciate that one a little bit, but what I appreciate more when it comes to Shadow and Silver is when it came to the Black Knight game. I don't know if are you guys familiar with Sonic and the Black Knight?
no.
The name sounds familiar. I don't think I've ever seen it or seen
Okay, so it was a
anything
Wii
or played
exclusive
that.
one because motion control. Um, but basically Sonic is transported to Arthurian world, the Arthurian legend, and he comes across Caliburn, which hint hint, you should already know what Caliburn is. If you don't, then you'll find out. Um, but he comes across Caliburn, who's a talking sword, and he's basically got to overthrow the Black Knight, who's taken over the kingdom. And Merlin's kind of like replaced by a woman sorceress instead. I don't remember I don't know if she's supposed to be Merlin or what the case might be, but she's the one who helps him on his journey. He has to defeat the knights to get to the Black Knight. And the first knight he goes against is Sir Gawain, which is Knuckles. I love Lancelot because Lancelot was Shadow. That was perfect. That was absolutely perfect. Like Shadow would be Lancelot, no questions there. and Blaze was Percival. Percival was the last one you fought. And I do appreciate that a lot for what it was. The game was fun. I like the Arthurian legend. The big thing came in the end with the like kind of like multiplayer where you can like do a battle royale kind of thing. It was like kind of dated for its time for what it was because like put you in an arena with like other people to fight. But
Why
when
would you
they
do that when you could play Smash?
yeah, it was kind of like one of those top-down ones too. So I'm like, ooh. But the big thing is who Sir Galahad was. So I don't know how much you guys know about Arthurian legend, but I'm a nerd for it. So there is obviously like the Round Table, and you have Lancelot, who's on that, who's the most loyal knight to Arthur and his like most trusted knight, essentially. Um, Sir Lancelot had a child with Elena Shalott of Shalott. In some stories, it changes, but Elaine, essentially. Um, a lot of stories say that he was like bewitched into it or drunk or drugged, and it kind of just depends, but it wasn't very consensual, essentially, his union with Elaine. And from that union came Galahad. Galahad is the son of the world's greatest knight, the most peerless knight, and Galahad would be the knight that obtains the Holy Grail in some Arthurian legends. But who they chose for Galahad in the Black Knight was Silver, which I appreciate because Galahad was supposed to be like this very pure and innocent person, and who better than Silver to be Galahad? Come on, let's be honest. But I really liked the fan art that came out of this because you had. I remember fighting this one where Shadow Lancelot has like all his armor on and like he comes face to face with Galahad and he lifts up the visor and you just see Silver like looking up at him like his papa and just kind of like shy and awkward about it because he's like, oh my gosh, it's dad, oh no. It was really cute. Like I appreciate that more than anything than like the actual Shadow Silver ship, just because like it's a father son thing. And again, I'm an Arthur nerd, and I liked their portrayal of some of the Arthur Knights and the Sonic characters. Because Knuckles is going, I definitely say that. I don't know too much about Percival personally to say if that's a good one for Blaze. And I would definitely say Lancelot is Shadow, because again, Lancelot is supposed to be one of the best knights around. He's supposed to be second to none, other than obviously his own son, Arthur, and Mordred. Mordred might be a little weird. I don't know, because Mordred is the one to end Arthur's kingdom. Yeah, no, I'd say Mordred too. But it makes sense that, Lancelot would be Shadow, Galahad would be Silver, and the Lady of the Lake was Amy. I didn't care for that one, but like, eh. But no, yeah, like it's not shipping in Sonic is very weird. I like the ones that are more
Yeah.
wholesome. Like again, that's why I like Knuckles and Julius, because again, you don't see a lot of weird ass shit about it personally from my end. It's cute, it's wholesome, they're there for each other, they're actually a healthy relationship for the most part. Knuckles has his moments where he slips up, obviously, because he's Knuckles, but like Julius is always there for him, and I appreciate that. For someone who can always stand by someone whenever they fuck up, Sylvain is just cuteness. It's just fucking cuteness. Like their entire relationship is cute, and again, I highly recommend for both of you. Raptor, I know you were interested in the Sonic 06 a little bit, but I do recommend for both
Yeah.
of you, if you are interested in seeing like where it all fully began with the Sylvains, definitely check out the Sonic 06 cutscenes, probably cutscene movie for Silver, because it's just, oh, it's beautiful. It sets up their friendship so beautifully, their progression through the entire story, and then her sacrifice at the end, like holy fuck. Just the good luck Silver as I wouldn't say a bit, like she leaves him. She does abandon him, but like she does it out of love. But no, yeah, when it comes to like the comics, again, Knuckles and Julius I love, but they're not the same as Sonic and Amy. Not same Amy. Sonic and Sally. Sonic and Sally are just beautiful. Also, another reason why I don't like Sonic and Amy is because in the comics, she actually started out as a kid. Like she was younger than Sonic. I think like I don't remember the exact age, but she was like a little kid, like 5, 6, 7, something like that. She got a hold of the power rings,
Ooh.
and she wished herself older so she could be with Sonic. And I'm just like,
Yikes.
yeah, I'm just like,
No.
no. That's another reason why I don't like
Hell's
Amy.
nah.
Because in the comics, she is a kid who wished herself older so she could be with the person that she admired. And I'm like, no. No, no, no. And the fact that she's a stalker on top of that, I'm like, no. It's obviously still like a running gag in the comics because like in the I think it's like 174 where Antoine and Bunny are getting married. Um, all the Chaotix members are bothering Antoine, so like they kind of beat Sonic to the punch. So Sonic tries to go like help with the bride and whatnot, but he basically has Amy shoved in his face with their nanny basically telling them watch over the flower girl, and I'm like that's kind of petty and mean. Like don't do that to Sonic. Sonic run. Get away from her. So
Um,
I will never support Sonic and Amy. I can understand why some people think it's cute because every other type of Sonic media shoves Amy into that love interest role, but I
I
would never.
really don't like Amy as a character, just in general.
I don't either.
yeah, I hate Amy.
Like she has moments in the comics where she does actually develop and become a better person because like when Sonic and Sally are actually trying to get back together and like testing the waters and see if they can actually manage to have a relationship again. um there's one scene where Amy does intervene, keeping the press and paparazzi away from Sonic and Sally. And one of the crowd points out to her, like, hey, you love Sonic. Why do you want him with someone else when he can be with you? And she just kind of leans her chin on her hands, which are all like on her Pico hammer. And she looks at him, like, probably both of them lovingly saying, as long as he's happy, I'm happy. And I'm like, okay, I can appreciate that. But I don't appreciate the stalker side. But I do appreciate that in the comics, she is given some room to actually grow and accept that what she's feeling is genuine love for Sonic because she's willing to let him go to be with the person he absolutely loves. So I can appreciate that. It was troublesome in the beginning, but I can at least appreciate they didn't put Sonic with Amy, that there was never anything between him and Amy, and that she learned to let him go. So I can appreciate Amy in that regard, but when it comes to a lot of the video games, I'm just like, I don't really care. Like, she's there. Or even, like, some of the material, like the Sonic X series, like TV series, I'm just like, I don't really like Amy there because, like, again, she's very obsessed with him, and it's not healthy at all. It's not healthy in the slightest. Honestly, I do get where people like to having that stalker boyfriend or girlfriend until you actually have it, and you're like, oh, I don't like this. So,
It's fun in fiction, but not in reality.
oh no, it's none of this stuff is ever really fun in reality unless it's like a healthy relationship. That's the truth on that.
Yeah, I've never been in a relationship or had a stalker, and it just comes as common sense to me. I don't know why some people like that.
I don't know, some people are just like, haha, danger.
Pretty much. But I will move on to the next one since again, this is stuff we can always go into more in a later date.
Yeah.
But we get to go back to you now, Skull.
Which one is it? Which one is it? Which one is it?
Spidey Pool.
Okay!
Oh,
Cool. You know how I was talking earlier about that playful banter thing?
This is one
Like,
of
they
those.
just have really, they have such good chemistry. And, I'm pretty sure I brought this up before in the last episode, but it's actually been confirmed that these two are soulmates
Didn't he
in the
like
Spider-Man
perform a
continuity, at least.
ritual to like summon his like soulmate, and it brought him
Yes,
Spider-Man?
Yes, they were trying to bring Deadpool his wife, his incubus wife, I should mention. But yeah, nothing came out of that except for oh, Spidey's here, and it probably doesn't help that in that continuity too, it's shown very clearly that Deadpool's just like, if I had like 5 people I could go out on a date with, like here are my top 5. And it's even mentioned because like it's covered by like the top bubble, but we see the top 4, and then like the bottom one is very obviously Spider-Man, but it's like partially covered. And Spider-Man even asks like, "What's number 5?" And he's just like, "Never you mind."
Never you mind. Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
I love the dynamic. Um, just it's plausible with that universe.
It's like in some
And
way it's
really, I
canon,
think,
but also it's not canon because it's like it's in that
yeah.
specific universe essentially.
I mean, I could see it happening like within the timeline of the Spider-Man and Deadpool comic because Peter's actually portrayed as an adult in that one. But like in the MCU, since they are going to be bringing Deadpool into that at some point, which has been confirmed by a few different actors
Wait, really?
who do the MCU stuff, yeah. The next Deadpool
I
movie is
mean,
going to be Spider-Man and Deadpool crossover.
Oh, damn! I didn't
wouldn't
But
it
know
I
just
could
that.
make
never see it
sense?
happening.
Wouldn't it just make sense
I
because
could
it's
never
all
see it
Marvel?
happening. Them, yeah, yeah. I mean, I never see like in the MCU it happening because like at least with current MCU we don't see, at least not to where I've gotten, but like Peter's not portrayed as an adult, and it's just something about that and like pairing them in the MCU rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah. He
Especially
does look
considering
like
the
a
fact that
teenager.
especially considering the fact that Deadpool is in his 30s, maybe older. It's kind of
Oh.
hard to tell considering the fact that he's practically immortal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to like Ruthless would be the one to point this out if he was here. That it really gets really muddled in the comics too because they're always changing hands, changing writers. Things are gonna get reset, changed, and whatnot. Continuities always change in the comics. Multiple universes, this and that, and yada yada. So even things get
Yeah.
very muddled in there
Yeah.
because again, like looking at Batgirl for example, like there's the original incarnation of Batgirl was as an adult who was closer in age to Bruce than Robin, but then like TV and all that happened where they aged her down to where she's like a young
Yeah.
adult and then like an actual teenager. So like things get rewritten, or like even the Killing Joke, how originally Batgirl was supposed to be, at least Barbara Gordon Batgirl was supposed to be paralyzed after the Killing Joke. But then they decided to retcon that and make it so she was only paralyzed for a little bit and then got better over a course of like some amount of years. So it really just
Like,
it depends on who's telling the story, where it's coming from, and things like that. So like when it comes to
yeah.
like the MCU, I wouldn't honestly expect to ship like Deadpool and Spider-Man in that one because again, there are certain things that can be restricted to certain things. It's like with the whole like Sonic thing. Like I can appreciate Sonic and Sally in the comics, but when it comes to like things like the video games, I can appreciate Silver and Blaze.
Yeah.
It's like things can
I
stay in
mean,
certain
like,
places.
regardless, though, just like the way that they play off of each other, even if it's not like a romantic relationship, I can see a really good friendship regardless.
True.
And my favorite thing that's been shown is like Spider-Man slash Peter. They're both like, okay, you've killed people, but you know, I know we're going to just try not to kill people as much as we can. You can severely injure, but do not kill them, please.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Hero's moral cord.
And Deadpool listens. So he gets like slight redemption because he's trying to actively do better.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright. Well, I believe the next one should also be for you. Actually, I take it back. It could be for all of us. We've all watched Helluva Boss, right?
Yep.
Oh, is it Stolitz?
It's Stolitz.
Yes.
Yes.
Just yes.
Okay, so I'll be the one to be the deep
Yeah.
dive here. I'll be honest, like, yes, it is extremely toxic. The power balance is extremely out there, because again, Stolas is nobility, and Blitz is as low as they can get, just being one step removed from being at the very bottom. Like, there is very much it's a pauper and the prince kind of thing, clearly. Again, it's very toxic, because, like, they can't really communicate with each other. They both have severe issues that they can't really get through at the moment. But that's also why we love them, let's be
Yeah.
fair. Because, like, I
Yeah.
think it's quite clear. If you look on Twitter, you can see it all too easily that a lot of people kin Stolas. And I'm like, I can see it because I personally see him as a gay man who's been trapped in a loveless marriage that was probably arranged on top of that. And like the only, I don't know, I don't really feel like there's any love between him and Stella. That he's really just existing in that relationship. That he doesn't really want this, but it's something he has to deal with, unfortunately. Because like even when he like it's exposed that he cheated on her, like she's not mad that he actually cheated on her. She's just mad that it was with an imp in their bed. Like, well, I don't know. I think it's just overall in an imp because even in like episode 2, when she's like yelling at him, like, "How could you do this?" When he mentioned about like didn't have time to go to motel, she's still mad at him that it was an imp. Like she didn't really care that he cheated. It's just it was an imp. That's it. Like
Yeah. Well, I mean, like with the whole like people cheating thing, I really don't think they'd care because it's hell.
that's another thing. Like I think it's like just something you expect in hell because like you don't really see loving relationships. Like we obviously saw that Moxie and Millie were the like a very clear exception because that's not the norm in hell. That's actually like unusual to have such a loving and dependable relationship. Well, a little too much. They are codependent,
Moxie
but
kind of If Moxie kind of just like a straight exception all across the board, given his entire personality for the most part.
yeah. Well, I mean, he is also Hellborn too, so it's a little bit different for those type of people. So I can understand that. But like we're gonna see like with Stolas because I don't know how much you guys have seen when it comes to the season 2 announcement and whatnot, but we are gonna see clearly Stolas as a child. We're gonna see him in his childhood years, which does debunk a lot of people thinking he was gonna be a fallen angel. Because in like I think in the Old Testament it is stated that the Ars Goetia are all just fallen angels, and Stolas is amongst the Ars Goetia. So he in biblical sense he is a fallen angel, but in the show he's not going to be one. He's gonna be Hellborn, but he's gonna be nobility on top of that. So he's gonna be like his own daughter Octavia, where he is Hellborn by the looks of it. So I do look forward to that, but it does also lead this interesting idea that a lot of people have kind of stated for him that Stolas has basically just lived in luxury all his life. He's nothing. He's known nothing but this like nobility and status, and like that's what that's all he really is. He is his nobility. He is his status. Like that is what happens first and foremost. And then, well, Blitz is Blitz. Like we all know Blitz is trouble. Like he clearly has some familiar issues with his own family. We don't know what happened to him and his sister Barbie Wire. Like something clearly happened that fell through the ice. Cause you see Verosika mention like, oh yeah, your sister's in rehab and she says hi. It's like, oh, thanks, that's nice. But and then at the end of like season 1, with episode 7, we see Blitz just completely break down when he sees a picture of him, his sister, and his mother. Like something happened, and it caused some issues there, which prevents Blitz from clearly having a I wouldn't want to say proper relationship, but like a healthy one, where you just can't really experience that close intimacy that a lot of people tend to crave. Not everyone, but a lot of people do tend to crave. And obviously why he lives so vicariously through the M&Ms. And I really do feel like they are good for each other because clearly Blitz is starting to care for Stolas. How he mentions how like he doesn't mind coming and fucking him once a month essentially as a nice way to
Mm,
putting it. Um and obviously, like, Solus loves having Blitz around because he's very happy with Blitz. The whole episode 2, when he's with Blitz, kind of clear. Like, he isn't aware of what he's doing to his daughter until his daughter makes it clear to him, like, hey, I can't take this anymore, and runs away. Like, he's so absorbed in Blitz. It's actually kind of sad, but also a little endearing. But, also, like, I think someone pointed this out, like, somewhere on Twitter or in YouTube comments, that whenever Stella is yelling at basically him and at Stryker too, because she's basically calling the hits and whatnot. Um, and even though like she was yelling right in front of him, he's not paying any attention to her. People are saying that the book that he was reading was Imp in the Sheets, and probably like fantasizing about Blitz at the same time. Because I hear so many people like, how did he not pay attention to Stella when she's yelling? I'm like, have you ever read a saucy erotica book before? Tell me, have you? Because trust me, those things grab your entire attention. And I don't know how to feel about that. I'm not a fan of erotica, but like, I can see why Stolas was reading that. Whee! But no, yeah, I appreciate this for what it is. Like, obviously, it's got a lot of issues and things like that. Like, they obviously need to get past their own stuff first before they can actually become like healthy. But
Yeah.
I really do feel like they could work, and even if they don't work, like, it's so much fun seeing all like the fan art and things like that because they are cute
Oh,
together.
definitely.
And I imagine you really enjoy it, Skull, seeing the short boy with the tall prince. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. If Aki and Bassi are anything to go on with your further standards and preferences, I know we all know. We know.
Yeah.
We know. Don't
So
worry, we know.
I'm sure the listeners
Standards
are going
that
to hear
don't
that
exist.
story when we do our D&D Storytime
But
episode.
we'll get to that eventually. We'll get to that later. But no, yeah, I look forward to season 2. I want to see more Stolitz. I want to see them come together. I want them to see. I want to see a healthy relationship blossom between the two. That would make me happy personally. But moving on from that one. All right, this is the one I thought was next. So this one's for you, Skull. It's Stucky.
Oh boy. So, this one. Steve and Bucky go back, you know, they were friends. You know, you got the well, like, just the entire thing, like, they keep each other calm and grounded, and that shown in, you know, the first Captain America movie, even when we get the flashbacks and stuff, and we see Steve having an asthma attack, and Bucky's just there by his side, like, working him through it, getting him to calm down and breathe. Just like they got a connection, you know. When they lost Bucky, Steve absolutely devastated and like spent pretty much the rest of his life for him. And like even after he comes out of the ice, it's just like this entire just there's more than just friendship there. No one can tell me otherwise. They're just I don't have a lot to say here other than just like the dynamic was there. You know, the connection was there. It's super, super plausible, and it's just like, it's one of those things, like, given the time, obviously they would have been like, no, like, this can't happen, so, you know, given the time and the period or whatever, they would have hidden it, and it's just, like, with all that, there's also the fact that they're just really cute.
That's fair. I can appreciate that.
I don't have much else. I don't have much else to say.
All right then. What's the one with the purple child and the blue the pink one with the ginger hair? What's this one again? From I think Danganronpa. The girl with like the green bow on her head. You guys gave me so much shit
Oh,
about this one
Tenko.
earlier. Yes. Well, this is your 2.
This is Raptors.
Oh, you're Raptor, come on! Chop chop, buddy.
Okay, so honestly, there's not much. I mean,
Oh dear lord, then why? Why start it out that way? Oh, there's not much. Then why the fuck did you make me put this in here? Tell me.
Well, I mean, that's okay. That's not the right wording.
Clearly.
They're cute. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
say what
they're
I think.
cute.
And there is like some connection that the two develop in the game.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, Himiko, Tenko is a martial artist, and Himiko wants to learn that, and they start to like develop a friendship through that until Tenko dies.
Yeah, and Himiko did not take that well.
Oh, but didn't they also join Angie's cult?
Oh, well, Himiko did. Tenko just pretended to join. I think it was to protect Himiko. Or like appear.
No, let's also acknowledge the fact that it would be plausible given the fact that Tenko hates men. Like, she's made it abundantly clear that she just doesn't like men in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. Anything else?
Not really.
No? Alright. Moving on. Skull, I'm gonna say this right now, these last three are pretty much all gonna be you. So you're gonna have fun talking.
Okay, here we go.
So your
Which one is
first
this?
set of three is, what is this, Thanatos and Ares?
Yeah. Yes. So, Thanatos and Ares, they don't interact in the game at all, but like, what goes better together than death and war? Like, let's be honest here. They go hand in hand. You can't have a war without death, essentially.
I mean, all war is just deciding who's left. That's all war is. War isn't really anything special, it's just seeing who's left after the massacre, so, I mean, yeah. That's literally all it is.
That's all it is.
That's literally all it is.
That's all it is. And they're really cute.
Alright, well then we move right into the
The
next
art's also
one,
really
which is the one I've heard too much from you, which is Zag and Thanatos? Thanzag?
Okay, so Thanatos and Zagreus, let's see, they were childhood friends. He's a romance option in the game. And you get to see their relationship develop, you know. We get to learn after Zagreus starts trying to escape from the underworld that Thanatos is like really upset and betrayed by the fact that Zagreus is trying to escape, and he's just like, you know, you had all of us down here, and you're just going to abandon that? And there wasn't a lot of communication and stuff. And like throughout their interactions, you get to see that they both just like the feelings are there, and it's just like they didn't know how to communicate it really until, you know, the situation they were in. Yeah. It's just, they're cute. They have bond, you know, they grew up together.
It's like that childhood sweethearts, but removed enough to where it doesn't become like a sibling relationship.
Yeah.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Are you see, did the next come in here well? It did! Alright!
Yeah.
You have your moment to talk about your fucking poly ship. The big one.
Okay, so Poly Ninja. And just every aspect of this, I ship pretty much every gay ship with the four main ninja and Ninjago. Just it's one of my the entire series is like one of my things that I've loved since I was a child. There's like different aspects to each pairing, and just there's dynamics that go differently for each of them, and they just have these different ways of balancing each other. Not to mention that like a bunch of the ship names are really fun.
Yeah, aren't they all
you've got
unique?
Well, you've got your pairing with Cole and Jay, which is Bruce shipping, because, you know, black and blue, it's that, and just their sort of like back and forth.
I don't know how
What?
feel
That-
about
that's-
that though. Like Bruise, like that just sounds like Black and Blue. Like, oh yeah, Bruise, like fucking beat him
But,
up.
like-
Like that just doesn't sound good to me.
But
I'm gonna
here's
be the first to say it.
thing is, like, here's the thing that was
yeah,
like
that doesn't
that's
sound
actually
very
kind
good.
of a thing is they go through this period where they do like have this sort of rivalry. Season 2, I think, after they're done dealing with the Serpentine, they like become teachers or whatever, and they go to this thing, and they're trying to like figure out who their best match is, and so they get into this really like stupid fight over. No, it was season 3. It was season 3 that this came. It started season 2 and came to a head in season 3. But anyways, they have this like entire thing where in the 3rd season they're in this tournament and they're forced to fight each other. And they realize, you know, they weren't scared of losing Nia or whatever. They were scared of losing each other. And it's just like, aw. Like, it's cute because they have this entire realization of like, they've been doing this entire like rival thing, trying to, you know, be better than the other person, only to realize that they weren't really as concerned about losing the girl as they were about losing each other. Then, you know, you've got characters like Kai and Zane, who are complete opposites. Zane is this very calm, collected, you know,
Robot.
he's calm, collected, he's ice. You know, he's got that, and then you've got Kai, who is, you know, this loud, obnoxious hothead.
I'm
with
not gonna lie, Kai
fire,
is
so
my
it's like-
favorite.
They're exact opposite. Just there are some that have really good explanations, and others where it's just like
They exist.
yeah. Then you've got stuff like Glacier, which is Cole and Zane. And to me, I kind of see Cole as this, like, very emotional character. And, like, he's an emotional person, but he doesn't necessarily know how to express it all the time. And we kind of get that in the show, even, like, he's kind of scared of what other people think of him. And, like, sometimes that and just, like, the way he fears people think of him hold him back from really deepening relationships with people. Or even having good relationships with people. We see, really, really early on in the series how, like, his fear of what his dad sees him as, like, really holds him back from having a good relationship with his dad. Then we get stuff like that, and it's just... I feel like they could balance each other out in some way. I don't really have too much explanation there. Plasma is another one I have absolutely no explanation for, which is Jay and Kai. Just
Yeah, that's one, like, I personally don't see
It's
that
hard
one
to
with too much
explain.
chemistry, at least in the
hard to
seasons I
explain,
saw.
they're both well, I mean, like, Jay is smart when it comes to certain things, but like when it comes to people, he's not the smartest.
Oh, yes.
He's an inventor. He's eccentric. He's not great with people. You got techno shipping, you know, Jay and Zane. Oh boy, there's the connection there where it's like, you know, there's connection there because they're both smart in their own ways,
God.
you know. Zane is smarter with people and building connections, and you've got Jay who is smart in his own regard as well. Then you got Poly Ninja, which is just, you know, all 4 of them. Then you get your nice little, you get the 3s, which you've got Hailstorm, which is essentially Poly Ninja just without Kai. You've got Dumbass Shipping, which is the 3 dumbasses. You know, Zane's not present for that one. And you've
Well,
got Conductor,
clearly.
which is... And then you've got Conductor, which is Kai, Zane, and Jay, and it's like, oh, you know, metal is a conductor of heat and electricity. And you've got Earth, which is just, there's no explanation there.
Oh, dear Lord.
I'm sorry. This show brings me nothing but joy. shipping the characters is something that I do mainly because just like I grew up with the show. I enjoy making like I enjoy the ships and stuff because a lot of them are just really fun regardless of which pairing it is. Um, I don't really know what else to say. I just really enjoy these characters. They all have fun dynamics that play off of each other, and it just grows throughout the series, and you get to see how their dynamics grow and change, and how their relationships develop. You know,
Right.
you start out season one where they don't really know each other, and they're just learning to work together, get along, and tolerate each other, and like that turns into this really deep friendship over time. You know, you're going through all these adventures, you're dealing with these situations where, you know, it's dangerous, someone could die. I mean, they've lost Zane like twice throughout the series. Cole got turned into a ghost. They've had so many things happen to them that's just like they've gotten through all these things together and had so many things happen that there's just I'm I'm trying to explain this, and I really don't have words to really explain very well why I enjoy these ships. Beyond, you know, they just bring me joy.
I mean, in the end, that's all it really is, was like shipping. It's just, it's stuff that we genuinely do enjoy. Because, like, there's not always a rhyme or reason to it. It's just stuff we like to see. And again, like, it also just, like, really just depends on, like, so, like, for you, like, the Ninjago series is more like what Sonic was to me growing up. Like, it was stuff I like to see. It was characters I'm very familiar with. And, like, you know, it's stuff you could learn through, essentially. 'Cause, like, I had the Sonic comics, you had Lego Ninjago, that was our similar bread and butter there. Different forms, mind you, but we both had our own little ones.
Um, as listeners will also know, Ninjago also has the very special title of being my gay awakening
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For
because
me, that was
I
definitely goth girls in the. I think Thorn was more my awakening because I latched onto her more than anything. But then Lightning came around and yeah, I should have known it was
yeah,
Lightning.
I mean with these boys, just um I know people are gonna say, but they're just Legos. But I dare you, if you're gonna make that judgment, to go and watch the beach episode where they're all shirtless.
Oh
Okay,
They're
yeah.
not
so
just Legos.
here's my thing that people should probably try to remember just in general. And let this be the lesson we go out on. So, stories can be portrayed in every single way. Um, the characters and things like that, the story and the settings, it ultimately doesn't really matter so long as it's like a good story. Because, like, who cares if they're Legos? Is it a cool story? Yes. The characters, they're fucking phenomenal. Who gives a fuck if they're Legos? Like, people can reimagine things so many different ways, too. Like, I've seen from you, Skull, well, not really from you, but through you, is probably a better way to say, um, where people do imagine, these, like, the boys from Lego Ninjago as, like, you know, as a more human, essentially. Not literally Lego human, but like human human. It's the same way with like the Sonic franchise or anything like Disney made that has animals. Like people tend to humanize them because that's just something they can do. It's maybe a little more palatable for them to digest as they explore these different kind of things. Or they might discover that they do like animals and that they're furries, which is totally fine too. Furries exist and furries are okay. Um, but it really just doesn't matter so long as like the story that's being told is told well and it makes an impact, no matter how small or big, because all media has a place. And that's something we do need to remember. And it doesn't matter how bad or good it is. Ultimately, it matters like to you if you loved it. I mean, I personally thought Lego Ninjago was okay. Personally, like, I didn't watch past when Lloyd beat his father.
Yeah.
That's when
I
I
mean,
stopped personally. 'Cause that's
yeah.
also when they stopped. I think kind of stopped airing it on Cartoon Network too at the time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, they went on a hiatus after that, and
Oh
I
yeah.
remember like everyone thought that was going to be
Yeah.
the end of the show, and what broke it for me for a
Oh
very
yeah.
long time, and like I really regret not watching it as it was coming out. But like what really made me upset was just like the entire way they were changing it. I was like, as a kid, like why are they rebooting this if there's the story came to an end. It had a positive ending. They had a good place to end the series. But like I'm really glad that they didn't end the series and they kept the series going because like every time I've come back to Ninjago, I've just learned to love the series even more.
Again,
When
like
I was younger, the first season, and I think also technically the first two seasons because of the 6 episode miniseries that was like the pilot. Um, the series got me through a really tough time when I was a kid, and just it's a show that it's been 13, just about 14 seasons of the show airing, and it still hasn't lost its charm. I know a lot of fans of the show from around my age group are really mad because they rebooted the character designs after the Lego Ninjago movie came out, which made a lot of people mad.
wasn't it not
But the
canonical
reason why
anyway?
they did it Well, the reason why they rebooted the designs and stuff was to make it match the Lego Ninjago movie more for the new fans that were coming in. A lot of the
Oh
people who were
god.
fans of the show when the Lego Ninjago movie came out were, my age or starting into their 20s. A lot of people were adults or just about adults. And to have such a big change there, a lot of people got really upset. I personally really liked the Lego Ninjago movie and the message it had. I also really, really enjoyed the redesigns because, after so many seasons and stuff, it shows that, they're still people in quotes that are capable of, growing and changing. And it's very rarely shown in shows and stuff for the characters to actually get that visual change.
Isn't that the truth? To kind of piggyback off that thought, I remember the same thing with the Winx Club. Something similar happened where they were basically growing up. They went to essentially like a magic high school or college. I don't remember what the exact term was, but they basically went through this, and I think around like season 4 when they were getting their Believix transformations, they had actually graduated and then moved out and moved to Earth and were starting their life as actual adults. Well, I don't remember when, but I think it might have been season 5 or something where they kind of retconned it and put them back in like high school, and people weren't too happy about that because like the whole point of the series was showing them grow as people, as like girls into young adults, and then it just retconned it and put it back them back into like high school, and I'm just like, yeah, because like, it's nice to see that growth. I think that's also why people like Steven Universe, because he grew up. He did change a little bit. Like you see him grow throughout the series. He doesn't necessarily stay the same. I mean, he obviously does change, but like he also does stay the same. Like it's those kind of weird things. It's like we shouldn't really be afraid to like show the growth and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because people change. It's a normal part of life. And it's definitely something. It does. Yeah, you tend. It's, again, it also goes back to like the Sonic comics. Like, not a lot of people like the comics because it did things like kind of, I guess, like hold Sonic back, and like he wasn't quite the same person. Like he changed in the comics. He was a little more mature, And I enjoyed seeing that from him. It showed that even he has the ability to change. Like, we all have that ability to change. And through, like, these communities and fandoms, we experience
Yeah.
that. And it's fun. Especially when it comes to shipping, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ultimately what all
um,
this is. Like, it just leads to, like, just a fun little thing to do. Again, it's something that can be healthy so long as you keep it healthy and just don't get into fights with people about it.
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, I used to believe, like you can ship really just about anything as long as you're not like trying to force it down other people's throats and trying to like actively cause harm by it. But even then, like that statement on its own, a lot of people find causes harm.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like some people with certain problematic ships or ships that are seen as like taboo in society now, like some of it for some people it's their way of coping with trauma that they've dealt with from like very similar things. With a lot of people mad because it sounds like you're trying to justify it, but really it's just like a lot of the people who like ship the more problematic ships are aware of them being problematic, and it's it's kind of like a double-edged sword in a way because like there's the good that can come out of using something like fandom to work through trauma or whatever, as long as you're doing it in a way that's not harming everybody. But I don't know, like that entire um, point on its own, a lot of people find to be controversial. So I won't go
I
too
think
deep
it
into
really
that
also
entire
just
rabbit hole.
depends too, because like again, there are such things like toxic literary tropes, things we definitely do need to see squashed in when it comes to like shipping and things like that. Because there are definitely things that shouldn't be shipped, things that do need to be kicked a bucket. Because again, like there's a lot of toxic tropes out there that does revolve around love, and people do use to justify why they ship certain characters, and I'm just like, I understand, and I'm not gonna say anything because it's not my business. It's what you want to do. It may harm some people, but it's going to fall on you in the end. You need to reap what you sow
Yeah.
in the end. All I can say is what my piece is, but in the end, if you choose to ship it and you have problems later down the line, like, it's just, you made your bed. You gotta lie in it, as simple as that.
Yeah.
But it's ultimately like, as long as you just remember what, like, it's, everyone's gonna have their own opinions and ships. And I know, like, we kind of lightly judge people here. Me and Skull mostly judging each other for, you know, being what we are. Uh,
And me mostly having technical difficulties.
yeah, we're after having technical difficulties. Um, I mean, we wouldn't actively stand in the way of each other with our ships. I don't say, like, we honestly support the ships we all have here, but it's something that we all enjoy. We do share some,
Yeah.
obviously, because we may find that they're cute or that they're cute.
Yeah.
A lot of our fandoms are different, and that's probably the big thing. But no, yeah, shipping is definitely fun, and I do enjoy it. It's a very, I can't say it's harmless because again, as you said, it clearly can harm people. But
But there's wars that people have. Like in the Homestuck fandom, there are people who have like full on wars with each other about ships. It's like when Dandy was talking earlier about John and Vriska. There's like a really big divide in the fan base because of that ship, and it's just I. Then again, there's like a huge divide in the Homestuck fandom just as a whole with the way people are with characters and stuff. The Homestuck fandom is toxic as hell, but it's also like a really fun community to be in if you can find the right people,
right, or like in the
which
Hell of a
is
Boss,
kind of hard to do.
or like in the Hell of a Boss fandom where people will literally get up in arms if you ship Blitz and Striker. Yeah, a lot of people are like, "How the fuck can you ship this?" And I'm like, "I can see it. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it." Because like, there's chemistry. That's the biggest thing. Like, obviously, people don't really need a reason to ship people, but like, if you have
Yeah.
chemistry, you're just inviting it. Because again, like you can have that chemistry, like Stolitz or Blitz and Striker, or you can just have something in common, like Jack Frost and Elsa, just because they have ice powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. On the topic of like ships and stuff, you just reminded me. What's your guys' opinion on? I know it was like a meme or whatever, but like Mordecai, where usually you're shipping like Mordecai from regular show and Twilight Sparkle.
What?
'Cause-
I don't even
yeah,
know what Twilight
it was
Sparkle is.
like, oh
Is
my
that a
God, it was like
pony?
a really weird. It was like a really weird, like cross fandom pairing that a lot of people had, and it became a meme because of it. I don't know. It was strange.
Is Twilight Sparkle a pony?
Yeah,
Is it the
it's
purple one?
yeah,
Oh, I mean, to each their own. I mean, I've seen a lot
yeah. I
of
mean,
cross fandom ships, obviously, like Jelsa being one of the biggest ones in my memory, at least. Um, I know people
I
like
mean,
to ship, was it like Rapunzel with Hiccup or something like that, something along those lines, or Merida with Hiccup. They like to ship Hiccup with a lot of the Disney girls, but
Like right there up against.
no, yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, people do what they're gonna do. If they want to meme like that, go ahead and let them. It really don't bother me much, personally. I'm just like, at the end of the day, it's really, does it bring you joy? Do you enjoy it? That's all that matters. But on that note, how are you guys feeling about this episode? We good?
I'd say we're good.
Skull, what about you?
hold on a minute, please.
Mm,
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'd
my grandma
say
came in and was talking.
you're good. I say we could probably start wrapping this up. We have been live for quite a while now,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
have a lot. We have a lot of material for coming up episodes, so this will be good.
Yeah. Okay, I feel like we could honestly do another shipping episode at some point,
At some point,
like to talk about. Yeah.
we'll
Not
discuss
till further
it.
down.
We'll discuss it a little bit later. Like Skull, you can get that conversation going. But for now, I'd say this is it for this episode. We have been going for quite a while. It has been fun, poking fun at one another. I'm thoroughly tired after this. Is actually really good. Uh,
Yeah.
but it has been fun. So we are going to sign out, and you guys have a wonderful whatever day, night, or morning it is.
See you.
Still Central Time.